Braemar Arena, Edina, Minnesota. We bring you night 2 of Deputy League action here in the 2024 season. It's Element and Tria here in game number 1 alongside Peter Odney and Abaning down at ice level. I'm Will Peterson. Peter, it is good to be back after a long week away. We've got some fresh talent in the mix this week. What are you looking forward to here in this one?
I'm looking forward to watching a 6'4", 177-pound drink of water named Sam Rinzel patrolling the blue line tonight. Super stoked to see the former Gopher.
Rinzel, one of 4 new players for Tria. Element wins the draw. They're working from left to right, wearing the royal blue and yellow jerseys as Chalowski sends that one down low. It's intercepted by Jackson Cates, gets it up for his brother Noah. On the other side, Tria is skating from right to left in their black jerseys with the blue trim and white numbering. That pass jumps up off the stick of Jackson Cates. And now it is intercepted, and we'll have an offsides call. And I don't think we got a single offside call in all of week 1 of Deputy League. Not, at least none that I can remember.
I was going to say I'm impressed with how tight the refs are calling this one, especially with the running clock. It's not worth playing if you're not going to play the right way.
45 seconds in, we already have our first whistle. Elements coming in at 1-0, a team that a lot of people doubted preseason. Ended up proving a lot of those naysayers wrong, taking down Anderson 10-5 in week 1. Ben Myers had a 6-point showing as Tristan Brose threads it through. Beautiful feed out front, and they score.
Boy,
Element picks right back up where they left off, as able to tap it in on the back door is the captain, Derek Forbert, and it is 1-0 Element.
Derek Forbert showing that he did not just select his friends, getting an assist from 2024 NCAA Division I national champion Tristan Brose of the Denver Pioneers.
Tristan Brose, beautiful feed through that time. As working back the other way, Eric Howla's shot is deflected into the corner. Mitchell Wolf cross-ice pass is intercepted by Tristan Brose, who sends it back in. Sam Rinzel will pick it up, the incoming sophomore for the Minnesota Golden Gophers. Gets it up for Howla, in with Zucker. Zucker's shot is saved right there by Troy Grosnick, who had a very solid week 1 of play. Pass through to the back door for Ashan, goes wide into the corner, and now it's taken at the half wall by Novak. That hops up off his stick. Wolf will backhand it ahead for Howla. It's a 2-on-1 with Nate Schmidt, and Howla will backhand this one through to Grosnick, who will cover as we get a whistle.
Boy, Howla and Schmidt, the 2 elder statesmen out on the ice. I don't know if there's anybody close to those 2 in age, maybe Derek Forbert, but we'll see if their experience comes into play here.
Each side with 4 new players this week. For Element, it is Jack Ashan, Tristan Brose, Mason Shaw, and Jake Livingstone, as this one is thread across for Pagansky. That pass intercepted, and Element will work back. For Tria, Mitch Reinke, Jason Zucker, Sam Rinzel, who we mentioned, as firing off a shot that time is Jake Livingstone. Save is made by Ryan Bischel, the 4th new member. Pagansky back the other way, backhand shot, save made by Grosnick with the shoulder. Good break there for Tria, looking for their first goal of the game. Now back on the other end, it's Bolby. Backhand feed across, they score. Nikita Pavlshev on the back door goes through the 5-hole of Ryan Bischel, and it is 2-0 Element.
Tria might want to think about calling a timeout here, or maybe they get real crazy and go with the Dick's House of Sport double puck right away.
And we haven't even mentioned that yet. For any of you who are new to Deputy League or just need a little refresher, each team gets 1 2-minute window during the course of the game, similar to a minor penalty, where all goals scored in the period by the team who triggers the Dick's House of Sport double puck will count for 2 goals. It can be a big strategic shift, especially late in a close game. We only had 1 double puck goal last week. It came from Anderson. It was Garrett Shifsky, as they attempted to mount a late comeback on Element. Was not successful. We will see if the double puck is more of a factor here in week 2.
I know I'm just an idiot with a headset, but I prefer Triggle to trigger.
Jackson Cates on the far side. Words are hard, folks. especially 3 games in a row, back to back to back. You'll trip over your feet every now and then. Noah Cates in the far side corner. Threads it through for his brother Jackson. Beautiful stick handling around the net. As the net comes off, Grosnick will pull it back on. Mason Shaw back the other way. Leaves it up high. Ben Myers rings the iron and unable to tap it through on the rebound is Mason Shaw. Now a breakaway look back the other way. Noah Cates. Drop pass. Rinzel shoots high.
Rinzel off to a flying start here.
On the follow through there. He's been very active so far. That one goes just high. Now near the left circle. Pulls up. Noah Cates will get it to the right side. There's a shot from Nate Schmidt. Waffle boarded away by Grosnick. Tristan Brose will chase this one down. Some pressure from Noah Cates as they work into the corner. 17 and change to go here in the first half. Element with a pair of goals early. Noah Cates looking for the first goal for Tria. Save is made. Rebound sits loose. Now it's cleared back out to center. Rinzel tangled up with Novak. That's about as much physical contact as you'll see here in the Beauty League. And an ugly fall into the corner for Tristan Brose.
He is on his feet, though. He's on his feet.
Any Pittsburgh Penguins fans watching may have just taken a sharp breath as he falls awkwardly into the boards, gets up okay, and now possesses the puck up high, walks the slot. Pad save is made by Ryan Bischel, the new goaltender this week for Tria. Across the crease, Novak had some space on the back door. The net is off. They're going to let him continue playing as Bischel's able to pull it back on. Brose into the corner. Ashan will take it there. Element has really had their way in the offensive zone thus far. Ashan pressure from Reinke as the sixes come together. Up to the point, Livingstone. Now Novak. Right wing half wall, 360 pass. Now a touch pass, Livingstone intercepted. Nate Schmidt, he had a couple breakaways last week. Can he capitalize here? Forehand, backhand, and he left it behind. Left the puck right out in front of the blue crease. It's swept away by Livingstone. Now Jason Zucker for Eric Howla. Howla tried to thread it through for Nate Schmidt that time. Loses control. Zucker will help him out. I could be wrong. I think those two were line mates at one point for the Minnesota Wild back in the late 2010s. At the very least, both on the second and third lines respectively. And fun to see them back at it again here at Braemar tonight.
I'd love to chime in with something, but I got to be honest. I don't watch a ton of Wild hockey.
Mitchell Wolf gets it through the wickets. Boy, Troy Grosnick was sharp as ever last week. He was our player of the game in the Element win, but that one just sneaks through, and Tria is on the board. It's 2-1.
Well, I feel like I'm mentioning the same players as I did last week, but I know I talked up Mitchell Wolf quite a bit as an alum of the Bantam Elite League, of which, of course, you and I both have a connection to. Mitchell Wolf putting Tria on the board.
Mitchell Wolf, the Bemidji State Beaver, hailing from Andover, Minnesota. One of those younger guys, we talked about it last week with Oliver Moore. Some of the younger guys have a little more to prove than some of the older guys here. As this one is a drop pass goal. Derek Forbert again gets it right back, his second of the evening, and it's 3-1 Element.
Derek Forbert from your neck of the woods, a Duluth East alum. You can tell he's taking it seriously. He hasn't cracked a smile once.
Derek Forbert just signed a one-year deal with the Vancouver Canucks. Lands his second goal of the evening. Jason Zucker, backdoor, what a goal! Eric Howla finishes it off. Beautiful tic-tac-toe play, and he gets it up under the bar. 3-2, 14 and a half to play.
You know, I hate to use a cliche this early in the broadcast before I have to rely on them, but I feel like we're off to the races here. 5 goals in the last couple of minutes. I think we're looking at a double-digit for both sides type of contest.
Zucker, Howla, and Rinzel on that line rush. That is a pretty good combination right there. And Eric Howla finishes it off. It's his third of the season, and it is 3-2 Element. Back the other way, Pavlchev tries to thread it through, intercepted by the other 77. It's Rinzel working back. Beautiful stride from Rinzel. You can see why the Chicago Blackhawks made him a first-round pick in the 2022 draft, as he really just eats up the neutral zone. You feel like it only takes 2 strides and he's already by you.
Well, oddly enough, I was reading an article about the top 100 drafted prospects in the NHL on The Athletic today, and it mentioned Sam Rinzel and about how when scouts or coaches and management look at him, they see someone so moldable. And you can't teach reach, right? So somebody 6'4" who can move like Sam, you're going to take a shot on him.
Another awkward fall into the corner. That time it was Bowlby. He's able to get up as Zucker works it up the right wing to the near side. Mitchell Wolf tries to go short side, and Grosnick is able to seal that. Zucker in the slot tries to go glove side on Grosnick, who flashes the leather to make the save here.
Grosnick in mid-season form. He was our player of the game last week. He's already knocked the net off 3 times intentionally. Troy Grosnick absolutely locked in.
Grosnick, like we mentioned last week, he signed a 1-year deal with the Iowa Wild, the AHL affiliate of Minnesota. Good depth signing for them as Minnesota tries to figure out the future of their goaltending position. Element breaks out. Livingstone backhand pass through. Ashan will dump it in for Myers. He's got Mason Shaw net front, and he'll have to squeak away into the corner to pick this one up. Cycling it all the way around town for Ben Myers. Ashan out front, tried to get the backhand on it, but unable to direct the biscuit into the basket. Now a breakaway, it looks sprung back the other way. Pagansky tries to go glove side. Grosnick stands tall once again. Schmidt with a spinorama pass to Rao on the near side. His pass goes across the crease. Grosnick deflects it. Pagansky will take it at the right point. Pagansky up high again. Myers was able to get into that lane. He's got a 2-on-1 back. Myers shot scores. Underneath the blocker of Ryan Bischel, Ben Myers picks up right where he left off. It's his 4th goal of the season, and it's 4-2 Element.
Boy, Ben Myers, all he needs is an inch, and they gave him a mile right there. He's not going to miss from that range.
Ben Myers, the former Delano Tiger, the former Minnesota Golden Gopher, and now the newest member of the Seattle Kraken, lights the lamp. 2-goal lead for Element. Another look back, Tommy Novak. His shot is deflected. Rao down the left side. Can he get the angle to the net? Goes for the wraparound. Has Pagansky on the back door. Finds Wolf in the slot. Wolf cutting to the backhand. Save made by Grosnick. Rinzel for Wolf between the dashes. And another blocker save made by Grosnick as Novak is sprung back the other way. Onto his backhand, trying to find Tristan Brose. Finds a trailer, now down low for Brose, as it was Forbert that time coming in from up high. This one is bounced out to center. Forbert will thread it through for Novak. Tommy Novak again. Neither side wants to hold on to the puck here in the neutral zone. Rinzel will settle things down, as now it's Noah Cates with Rinzel. Drop pass Rinzel. What a move to his backhand, and that one goes just high. Grosnick got a piece, but what a move by the 6'4" Sam Rinzel.
At some point, he's got to hit the net, though.
Tommy Novak, backhand
like
goal.
That. Like that. Maybe Tommy can show Sam how to hit the net.
Tommy Novak, pinpoint accuracy. 2 goals last week. He's on the board here, Element 5, Tria 2. Tommy Novak, pinpoint accuracy on the backhand. Goes right underneath the bar, beats Ryan Bischel up high. 5-2 Element with less than 10 to go here in the first.
We got a player down on the other side. Oh, it's Nate Schmidt.
Nate Schmidt took a tumble. He gets up full of snow and will rejoin the rush here.
He'll go back to his favorite place, the opposing team's blue line.
Drop pass for Pavelchev as Ashan was waiting there on the back door. Stick gets in the way that time. And wouldn't you know it, Nate Schmidt sprung back the other way. He scores. Nate Schmidt patiently waiting on the opposing blue line. He had 2 goals last week. He's on the board here, and he cuts the Element lead to 2.
You know, if it works, why change anything? And I got to admit, I love the commitment. The commitment to Schmidt's bit, hanging out on the opposing team's blue line and making it happen.
Scoring for the team.
Howla behind. Nate Schmidt in the far side corner now gets it through for Zucker. Across to Howla again. Reinke goes off the skate of Schmidt, and Tria will be forced to reset here. He leaves it off for Bischel, goes for the change. Eric Howla and his New Jersey Devils colored gloves will knife his way through the defense. Lost the handle that time. Element will have a look back the other way. Mitchell Wolf nearly just put it in his own net, and then a drop pass there from Pavlshev for Bolby. Goes up and over the net. Howla got a piece of that one. Forbert will be there for Element. Looking to add to the lead. Worked all the way through. Wolf will spring Howla, and that pass goes just behind Jason Zucker. He's able to adjust, though, and get it up for Inzel. Bolby on the far side pokes it up ahead. Here's a look back for Element. Ben Myers crashing to the net. Left it on the post. Tap in goal. Already a hat trick for Derek Forbert. It took him less than 16 minutes to get it done. Hattie for the Element captain. It's 6-3.
On a personal mission here in Game 1, Element proving once again they are not to be underestimated or messed with.
Derek Forbert didn't score at all last week and has himself a hat trick here in week 2. Element leads Tria 6-3 here with less than 7 to go in the first half. Mason Shaw tries to get it through. Offsides is waved on the backhand. Ben Myers can't get it to go. Rinzel dishes it for Zucker up the left side. Shot, save, rebound. Grosnick able to slide over and get the right pad on that one. Schmidt on the back door. Cutting inside is Reinke, unable to get a shot on goal. Reinke again. Inside for Zucker. Got a little too cute with it that time and lost the handle.
Not the time to get too cute. This is too important. It's too close to crunch time in the first half.
Howla right wing half wall. Reinke looking for Schmidt out front. Found him. Swinging it around to the backhand and then trying to wrap it around and unable to do so. Livingstone up for Shaw. Less than 6 to go here in the first. Novak down low for a Sean. That puck is sitting loose and Zucker is able to sweep it away. Howla unable to find the edge back on the other blue line. Checks his skates as he goes to the bench.
Well, luckily for Howla, General Sports is right next door, so if he wants to take a few minutes, get his wheels tuned up, he's right there.
Pagansky for Rao. Now back for Pagansky. Left circle Rinzel, broken up by Forbert. Now Novak, who finds Shaw. Left circle, his shot. Glove save made Bischel. And with just under 5 minutes to go, we will pause.
It looks like the nameplate for Sam Rinzel is starting to fall off. I can't remember who it was last week, but somebody lost their nameplate almost right away.
I want to say it was Ben Myers.
Was it?
That's the name that comes to the top of mine, and then they just kind of slapped it up behind the bench as a
we'll review the tape.
A trophy of sorts.
We'll get back to you on it. Nice pass.
Tristan Brose onto the forehand. Nice save made by Bischel. And he promptly covers this one up. Tristan Brose scoreless so far in this one. Element doesn't even need his insane scoring touch that he showed last year with Denver. Scored the overtime goal to send them to the national championship, a national championship that they eventually won. And that has led to his first entry-level contract here in this offseason. That one flies up into the Element bench over near coaches Mark Parrish and Paul Fletcher. So we'll get another whistle and stoppage here.
Well, I wish that puck would have gone up just a little bit higher. Not that I'm advocating possible injury, but I'd love for a fan to go home with a souvenir tonight.
Pagansky behind, up for Wolf. That shot deflected wide. And of course, 3 fans every night will go home with a souvenir as the selected player of the game comes over to the scorer's bench, signs a Deputy League commemorative puck, and then flips it up into the stands. One of many things to keep you coming out here to Braemar Arena, not to mention one of the sponsors of these teams, Element, gives away a 55-inch TV every single night. There's a lot of door prizes here, Peter. A lot for people to get excited for besides the amazing hockey.
There are door prizes. It's affordable if you want to see some NHL talent without having to remortgage your house. The Beauty League is the place for you, and I'm going to leave you at halftime to go enter my name in for that TV drawing.
I don't blame you. Tristan Brose feeds it out front. Ashan unable to send it home. Livingstone lurking out front. Now Ashan settles this one down as well, feeds it through to Brose. It's intercepted, and now here's Tria. Jackson Cates for Noah Cates. Gets through. Jackson with the rebound. His backhand shot goes wide. Coming up on 2 minutes remaining in the first half. Wonder if Tria might opt to use the hot puck going into the break. Tristan Brose scores. Full head of steam into the zone. Beats Ryan Bischel blocker side low. And it is now a 4-goal Element lead.
Well, at this point, Tria might not have a choice but to use the hot puck, the lead widening as we speak. And if I had to guess, I'd say it's going to be 5 or 6 by the end of the first half.
The lead is 4 as Element tacks on the extra point. It is 7-3. Tristan Brose's first DBL goal. Myers to the far side for Shalowski. Out front, Bowlby scores. Peter, you are a prophet, my friend. Under 2 minutes to go. Henry Bowlby goes up high. It is 8-3 Element.
I'm going to take profit as a compliment. It's nicer than what people usually shout at me. But yes, I would say that my prophecy is correct.
Element just continues to get it done in the offensive zone. They scored 10 last week on Anderson, a team that many liked as their preseason pick to hoist the John Scott Cup. But Element seems to have found a formula to play some good hockey. Of course, it is still early. Noah Cates on a breakaway. Save made by Grosnick. And he's a big part of this formula for Element. Made 28 saves on 32 shots last year. It's a 2-on-0. Forbert, pitch, catch, and the save is made by Bischel.
Tria's defense right now looking worse than the Blackberry curve rollout. Was it the curve that did terribly or the storm?
Way before my time, Peter.
You're not that young.
Blackberries?
Yeah.
Like the phone?
No, like the phone.
The phone?
Yeah.
I can't say I've ever physically held a Blackberry in my hands.
I quit, man. Boy, I feel like Father Time at this point. Well, you don't have to hold one, but you could watch the Blackberry documentary now streaming on Hulu.
Not sponsored.
Not sponsored.
5 seconds to go. Mitchell Wolf are going to have to get a shot off quick here. Noah for Jackson.
Shoot it, Jackson.
And the horn sounds. We head to break. And Element picks up right where they left off, continuing their dominant play. Like we mentioned, Peter, they seem to have found a method to their success. It's good upfront scoring. Troy Grosnick back in net has been nothing short of stellar for them, and they hold a 5-goal lead going into break here. Your thoughts on the first half of play?
Well, I think you said it perfectly. This is Element's groove here. They clearly want it more than Tria, and what more could you ask for than full 100% effort on a Wednesday afternoon in July?
Anna Baining standing by at ice level with the Cates brothers.
I'm here with Team Tria's brotherly duo, Jackson and Noah Cates, and you guys played last week in the Beauty League, and now it's night 2. How is it feeling on the ice out there?
Yeah, it's feeling good. It's nice to be back, and it's fun to be at Braemar with these fans.
Yeah, and to play together, what's that like?
Yeah, it's obviously special. We've done it, from when we were little kids, and we played at every level together, so it's super fun to be out here.
Well, good luck in the rest of this game. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Back up to you guys in the booth.
from Noah and Jackson, of course, both Stillwater, Minnesota natives, both went on to compete at the University of Minnesota Duluth, and now each at their various stages of their professional development, but taking some time off here in the summer to compete in DBL.
Doesn't get any better than that. I think it was Noah who had that viral spinorama goal all those years ago. One of those where were you moments in Minnesota high school hockey in the section final.
The second half of play is kicking off. There is no better time to remind you that Element Electronics started with a simple belief that every home should have access to televisions with the latest technology. Element is the only major television company to assemble products in the U.S. The company's Winsboro, South Carolina factory assembles millions of TVs each year. Element proudly offers high technology products at the most accessible prices. For more information, visit elementelectronics.com. As a hot start to the second half for Tria, now down to a 4-goal lead.
You know what? I think it's intentional. I think Element wants to give the fans a show. So I think Element will let Tria back into the game, but eventually they'll pull away at the end.
Eric Howla with it as he fires this one up for Nate Schmidt. Across for Zucker. It was Nate Schmidt with that most recent goal for Tria, assist from Mitch Renke. As it is down to a 4-goal lead, Element still doubling up Tria. Tria is proud to provide world-class orthopedic and sports medicine care for the athletes in the Beauty League. They're just addicted to scoring goals during my ad reads, Peter, I tell you that.
That's okay, finish it off.
Whether you're a professional athlete or weekend warrior, you'll get the same expert orthopedic care when you're treated by Tria. Schedule online today at tria.com. Your theory about Element giving the fans a show might be accurate. Back-to-back goals in less than a minute and a half.
We'll never be on camera, but I'm wearing a tinfoil hat right now. So, yeah, I think this is a little bit of pageantry.
Eric Howla, his second of the night, fourth of the season. And it is down to a 3-goal game as Tria opens the second half, guns a-blazing, back-to-back goals here early. Zucker up the right side. Try to get it through for Inzel. Pavelchev will swoop it away. There's not many guys taller than Sam Rinzel, either in the Beauty League or just on planet Earth, and Nikita Pavelchev is one of them, standing at 6'7".
He is 6'7". Oh my gosh, he could ride whatever he wanted to at Valley Fair. Can you imagine the power of being 6'7"? I mean, like riding a plane is terrible, but going to a concert, never a bad seat in the house.
Through pass goes wide. Peter, if you don't mind me asking, how tall are you?
5'9".
Rao working in, tried to tuck it through. Grosnick seals the post, so I've got, not to put you down here, I've got a good 6 inches on you, but Nikita Pavelchev is another 4 on me.
Well, I'd like to stand next to Nikita at some point during this process just to, feel excruciating neck pain.
Tria with it up the right side, Pagansky. They've scored back-to-back goals, looking to make it 3 consecutive. Through pass to Reinke.
Your height is also artificially inflated.
Deflects away. No, I'd argue it's naturally inflated with some minor mechanical adjustment. Rao drop pass back for Schmidt into the slot. Now to the far side. And back for Nate Schmidt. Bolby back. Element looking for their first goal of the second half. No better guy to do it than Ben Myers, but Bischel is able to slide and get wood on that one. Bolby. Rinzel tries to play it at his feet. Bolby's got a man out front. Opts to work it all the way behind. And now a centering pass is intercepted, and Tria will start back.
It's a nameplate. It's slowing him down.
Rinzel right half wall. Feeds it through for Noah Cates. That one takes a crazy hop up off the end board. Noah for Jackson to the near side. That shot goes wide. Rinzel again. Tria seems to have shaken some cobwebs at the break, coming up, playing a much more inspired brand of hockey here in the second half. They've got it down to a 3-goal game, potentially a 2-score game if they light the hot puck. A Sean back, and a nice save made again by Bischel.
You want to talk about height discrepancies? Look at Jack Ashan and Ryan Bischel.
Forbert tries to add to his hat trick, unable to do so as that one deflects up above the netting. Shaw is stripped by Mitchell Wolf. Geometric pass. Now they go cross ice. Noah Cates into the zone onside. Pulls it out. Jackson waiting for it on the right side. Schmidt for Wolf. Right circle, Wolf takes a body bump from Mason Shaw. We got used to seeing a lot of that physical play in Shaw's time with the Minnesota Wild. Drop pass back for Myers, across for Schalowski. Waffle boarded away by Bischel.
Boy, that shoulder bump. I wonder at what point does somebody tell him to stop shoulder bumping?
Nothing wrong playing with a little grit, eh, Peter?
Has there ever been a fight?
There has been one fight in Beauty League history.
Okay.
We will get our sports research team on that to figure out who the affected players are. As this one is scored on the right-hand side, Element gets their first goal of the second half.
All I want to see is the double puck. That's all I want to see right now.
Back up to a 4-goal game. Mason Shaw with the goal for Element. Up to 9-5 Element lead. And we have word on the fighters. It was Teddy Bluger and Vinny Lettieri late in the 2022 DBL season. And then Lettieri and Bluger were drafted to the same team in the 2023 season. Beautiful move back the other way as Nate Schmidt gets it right back for Tria. He has a hat trick, and it's back to a 3-goal game.
Jeez. Boy, both a couple of veterans with the hat tricks so far, Forbert and Schmidt. I believe they're also the captains of these teams.
Yes, each captain with a hat trick here in this one. Did not take Forbert long at all, just about 15 minutes or so of gameplay. Took Schmidt a little bit longer, but he has 3 goals here in this one. He had 2 last week as he vies for the DBL scoring title.
You think there's a bonus if you lead the league in scoring?
What would that bonus entail, Peter?
I don't know. A 55-inch Element television.
I'm going to guess the majority of the players in this league already have TVs larger than that.
A fee-free checking account from Tradition.
Novak up the left side at the circle. Maybe a Maui Wowie. One Tiki Maui Wowie for leading DBL in scoring.
Oh, jeez.
I would gladly take that incentive.
I don't know if it's worth it, though.
Jason Zucker across for Howla. Tried to get it back for Rinzel. Element swoops it up. They have numbers back. Tommy Novak left side. That shot is deflected by Bischel up into the glass. Pavlshev threads it through, and running out of room over there was Tommy Novak. He had Bischel down, just lost the angle on the open net.
I'd offer an opinion, but right now I'm distracted by the glare coming off Bischel's Notre Dame helmet. That's real gold right there.
The chrome dome for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Tristan Brose with some space. Bolby shot.
Ooh.
Nice sliding glove save made by Bischel, who keeps it in play.
I can't imagine the pressure that Henry Bolby feels playing in this place, knowing just how many Bolbys have come through this building.
Pagansky with a shot. Stick save made by Groznik that time. Rao in the left corner. Coming up on 75% of our play being done here. It's a 3-goal game. Element leading Tria. Neither side has activated the Dick's House of Sport double puck. Again, a 2-minute window in which goals count for double for the team that lit the lamp. The coaches have access to a modified goal horn. They will light that with the flip of a switch. A 2-minute penalty will be put up on the board. Any goals scored in that time count for 2. Kyle Rao on the near side.
I'm going to tell you something. You bring up the double puck, which is something I'd like to see tonight, but I just saw something much cooler. There's a gang of children down along the glass. Nate Schmidt also along the glass, obviously on the ice, and the kids are banging on the glass, and he gave them an elbow right back. It's nice to see some interaction between the athletes and the kids, because isn't that what this is all for?
It is for the kids. It's for the kids, and it's for the diehard hockey fans out here. We talked about it last week, but you can play a pretty fun game of Spot the Jersey here at Braemar Arena. There are some hidden gems, and we'll be sure to update you throughout the evening. In our view here, I see a Zibanejad is now back the other way. Sam Rinzel has his breakaway attempt smothered by Groznik. Bolby up the right side. Bros, you have any just wacky jerseys in your personal wardrobe?
I do. I used to have a Sean Avery, a New York Rangers Sean Avery, but I wouldn't say anything wacky. I've got a Sean Avery. I got a Brad Marchand. I have a favorite player type, if you couldn't glean that from the context. I got a Justin Jefferson and Anthony Barr. My pride and joy, however, is it's an unnumbered, but it's an original from the 70s Montreal Canadiens jersey, made completely out of, I'm assuming, Canadian wool or cotton, whatever is the biggest cash crop in Canada.
Jackson Cates drops it for Noah. Reinke far side for Jackson. Working it through up high. Right circle, Schmidt gets it out front for Noah, and that shot goes wide. Jackson up high. To the right corner, up high for Schmidt. Lobs it through. Noah takes it behind, has Jackson on the near post. He'll collect in the near corner. Schmidt up high. Noah across for Schmidt. Unable to connect. Mason Shaw up the right side with a full head of steam. Has Myers on the back door. Tries to thread it through. Caught up in the skates that time. And Tria able to thwart the Element odd man rush. Jackson Cates pulls it out. Stolen by Ben Myers across for Shaw, and they're unable to get a shot off. Ben Myers, after scoring 3 goals last week and 1 this week, you'd like to think he's just want us to shoot the puck, as Noah Cates back on the other end answers for Tria. 2-goal game.
2-goal game. Do we start biting the nails at this point or not? If we're Team Element, obviously I'm Team Element's #1 fan. I'm not nervous yet, but I might be if they get one more.
It is a 2-goal game. It is a one-score game with the Dick's House of Sport double puck that Tria still has at their disposal. Noah Cates with his first of the evening, second of the season, 9-7 Element lead. Pavlshev looking to answer. Forbert sends it down low. Under 10 minutes to go here in the second half from Braemar. Tommy Novak has that shot blocked. Shalowski up high. He's been quiet tonight. Had 5 points last week. Peter, the self-ordained president of the Dennis Shalowski fan club.
I'm not the president. I'm the vice president.
Who is the president?
Dennis himself. He doesn't know it yet.
Pavlshev left circle. Novak cutting his way inside. Good work with the hands. Shalowski backdoor scores. Wouldn't you know it, Dennis Shalowski.
Speak of the president of the Dennis Shalowski fan club.
Ask and you shall receive. Element gets it right back, and it is 10-7.
Maybe if I get my hands on a Shalowski jersey, that'll become my pride and joy.
10-7 Element here, not Pavlshev, that's Shalowski with his first of the evening, third of the season. As the extra point is good for Element, they lead by a field goal. It's 10-7.
Field goal? Oh, 3-point. Okay.
Peter's brain not in football mode here in July.
Math.
As Wolf pulls it back into the D zone. I don't perceive you much as a video game guy, Peter, but have you seen anything of the new NCAA football that came out?
Let me tell you something. I used the PlayStation 2 that I got for Christmas in 2002, and right now I'm in the middle of replaying Lord of the Rings 2 Towers. So I am a video game guy, just video games that came out 20 years ago.
Can't say I knew that Lord of the Rings had a video game franchise.
What's wrong with you?
Before my time.
What? You need to take the rest of the night off, go to your local GameStop, help my stock out a little bit, and pick up Fellowship of the Ring, 2 Towers, and Return of the King.
Bowlby up the right side for Ashan. Ashan back for Bowlby. That one goes wide, and Bischel dislodges the net, pulls it back onto the moorings. Under 7.5 to play here in the second half.
Vet move from Bischel. I'm sure he learned that from Grosnick, kicking the net off. What is Zucker pointing at right now? Is he lobbying for the puck to come out of the zone? Are we seeing a lobbying effort at Deputy League?
I don't think we had that last week either. Jason Zucker,
Ooh.
his first week here in DBL this season, instantly stepping the compete level up a notch. Tristan Brose had prime beachfront property out in front of the net, but unable to get one on goal. Eric Howla back the other way to the backhand, and that one is poke checked away by Grosnick.
Well, speaking of property, Zucker could find himself an office on K Street with those negotiating skills.
Livingstone fans on the pass, ends up with control, tries to get through to Bowlby and ends up with it back, but now has to pull it out to neutral. Sends it back for Grosnick. Livingstone goes for a change. He's replaced by the captain, Forbert. Under 6.5 to play now. A 3-goal lead here late for Element, looking for their second win of the DBL season. Howla looking to avoid the 0-2 start for Tria. Zucker tries to olay his man, left the puck behind. Forbert.
Olay his man? What does that mean?
You're not a soccer guy, Peter? Little olay, little dipsy-do magic with the feet?
I played in high school, but I wasn't good enough to like touch the ball, so I don't know what an olay is. Is that the same thing as a nutmeg? What's a
Similar
nutmeg?
but different.
Okay.
Nutmeg, you're going through the legs. Olay, you're kind of touching the ball or puck around the player and going back to get it on the other side.
Ah, similar but different. A little bit like Diet Coke and Diet Shasta.
Myers up the far side. A goal here would be big for Element as it prevents a 2-goal spurt. There it is, Tristan Brose, his second of the evening, but it now, with a 4-goal lead, it prevents too quick, and now they're saying they had the Dick's House Sport double puck light activated. Don't know if that came on before or after. They are giving them 2 goals, so consider it a double puck goal for Tristan Brose. Now a 5-goal lead here late for Element.
Boy, I don't know if that light was on when they scored. I feel like if you're going to turn the light on, you got to get loud, you got to get proud, and let the penalty box know that you've got your double puck light on.
Well, if they didn't have it on, that is some good quick move by the coaches Mark Parrish and Paul Fletcher. Myers looking to add to it, and he's bumped off the puck by Wolf. 5-goal lead here late for Element, 12-7. Rinzel, whose nameplate is now completely off.
It looks like Doctor.
Yeah,
Is that for Grant Doctor?
Grant Doctor competed last season here in DBL. Ashan across the crease, another double puck goal, and this time it's Mason Shaw.
The floodgates are officially open for business.
It is now a full touchdown lead for Element, 14-7. 2 double puck goals for Element, the first from Tristan Brose and now Mason Shaw. And this one is all but over here in Edina.
Is Tria going to hit that light or what?
We will see. It would take 4 scores to get him back into this game. Livingstone for Forbert. Out front, we've seen more frenzied comebacks before. Nate Schmidt, breakaway, score! 4th goal of the evening for Nate Schmidt.
Do they get 2 because they scored while the other team had the hot puck going?
And now I
puck?
just watched the Tria bench. Coach Taylor Chorney pulled the same maneuver, at the very least trying to get the double puck. I don't think they're going to give him 2. It'll just be the 1 goal for Nate Schmidt, but they have now activated the double puck light. Drop pass back. Jim Carroll gets excited for that one. It is a double hot puck here from Medina. Tommy Novak back. Tried to get it through, and able to stay behind there was Bischel. 10 seconds remaining on the Element hot puck. We'll get another minute 22 for Tria after that. It is back to a 3-score game here late. Double puck time officially has expired. Novak's shot is blocked out front, and it's Tria with it. They need to score. They need to score in a hurry. Schmidt drops it off. Jackson Cates, sliding save made by Groznik. 3:01 to go here in the second.
Was that a goal horn that just went off? What are we doing? That wasn't.
I think they're just so used to every stoppage being a goal that it's automatic force of habit.
You know what they say about old habits?
Pavlshev broken up by Novak. Now Noah Cates across Jackson, and somehow that one stays out as Troy Groznik shuts the door here late.
Can we just give him the MVP trophy right now?
On the far side, Pavlshev grinds out front. Again, had the play sold, but ran out of real estate as Bischel sealed the post. Troy Groznik certainly making a compelling case here early for MVP. The starting goaltender for what we presume will be the only 2-0 team in the league, at least to this point, pending results of our next game. Novak tries to go 5-hole and is shut out by Bischel. I could also hear a compelling case for Derek Forbert, who had a hat trick today, 4 assists in week 1. I would say it's a 2-man race for Element between Groznik and Forbert.
I'll say this for Groznik. He's wearing the right socks. I don't know how you can be captain of the team and not be wearing the right socks.
Double puck time has expired for Tria, so it would take a Herculean effort here late in regulation to get back into it. Element is more than happy to play the possession game here. As Ashan gets it through. Bros, what a goal! Tristan Bros put that one on the highlight reel. 1:25 to go. Some extra flair from the former Denver Pioneer, 15-8.
Somebody clip that, put it on YouTube. Oh, it's already on YouTube. Put it back on YouTube. Make it its own clip.
Tristan Bros, his 3rd goal of the evening. He did score a hot puck goal, so more or less count him for 4. And it is an exclamation point on another very impressive showing for Element, who will advance to 2-0 and be the front runners of this league.
If you're 0-2 in Deputy League, I mean, what do you do after 2 games? Do you go back to the drawing board? Do you start bringing in new guys? Do you fire the head coach? I don't know. The front office need a shakeup?
Bowlby on the forehand, shut out by Bischel. Tria last week also allowed 15 goals in a loss to Walser. So certainly some questions that need to be made specifically. I would think about Nate Schmidt and all the time he spends on the opposing blue line. Really, really soft underbelly of this Tria defense. Here's Bros looking to expose it, and he does. Tristan Bros with an exclamation point on a dominant win for Element. 16-8 is your final. Element is 2-0.
Wow, Tristan Bros. Have a day. Welcome to Deputy League.
Bros had 16 tucks last season for the Denver Pioneers, the 21-year-old from Bloomington, with one heck of a showing. We're going to hear the first star. We have co-players of the game, Derek Forbert and Tristan Brose. Forbert with a hat trick, Tristan Brose with a 4-goal performance, including a money puck goal. Peter, Element is off to a 2-0 start. The team that nobody wanted to pick coming into this season is the hottest in the league, and you saw it coming all along.
I saw it coming all along. I mean, I didn't get this job by not being really smart at hockey. So I don't want to take all the credit for Element being 2-0. I'm going to take some of the credit. I also don't want to take credit for the fact that neither of our co-players of the game are on the ice right now. As soon as you mentioned Derek Forbert, I watched him go down the tunnel. So maybe we can haul the fellas back out so they can toss a puck into the stands.
Tristan Brose and Derek Forbert, your co-players of the game. The Zamboni is on here. Mark Parrish and Paul Fletcher have their Element squad playing elite hockey right now. Tria falls to 0-2. We'll see what kind of mix-ups they will make going into week 3. We are going to take a short break. When we return, it is Anderson, it is Walser, Brock Nelson, and Jake Gensel make their 2024 Beauty League debut. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back here from Braemar Arena. Well, here we go. Game number 2 of night number 2 of the Beauty League, and we have a good one for you here. It is Walser. It is Anderson. We've got some pretty great talent additions to this one. Peter, who are you looking forward to seeing in this one the most?
Well, the biggest celebrity is in the stands tonight. That would be Kathy Brodzinski, ice booker extraordinaire for the Super Rink up in Blaine. If you have anything to do with hockey in this state, you've probably talked to Kathy once or twice. But on the ice, I'm most excited to see Riley Tufte.
Interesting choice. We
Yeah,
have
we're
7
going off the board here.
We have 7 new names for you this evening. For Walser, we've got Johnny Brodzinski, Ryan Paling, Riley Tufte, and Nick Jensen joining us this week. For Anderson, 2 of the biggest names in the Beauty League in Brock Nelson and Jake Gensel. And also, no slouch himself, Mike Riley joining us. For Anderson, of course, coming in looking to avenge last week's loss to Element. Walser looking to keep the good times going after taking down Tria. The puck has dropped. We are underway. Brock Nelson scores. 9 seconds is all it takes for Brock Nelson to find the back of the net. Hot start for Anderson, 1-0.
Well, Walser's got to call timeout right now. You can't allow a goal 9 seconds in. I don't care if it's arguably 2 of the most high-profile guys on the ice. Walser, you got to call timeout. Call it right now.
What a start for Brock Nelson. 34 tucks this year with the New York Islanders. He's got his first Beauty League tuck, and it is 1-0 Anderson. Letary back the other way. Foot race between Nelson and Nick Jensen on that far side. Some really, really good high-level NHL talent here in this one. Kalen Addison picked up a secondary assist there as well. We saw him last week. For Anderson, here's Johnny Brodzinski from the left circle and able to make the blocker save there is Hunter Miska. Mike Riley, left circle. Gives it up for Boyd. To the near side, Kalen Addison. Boyd to the slot, drop past Toninato. That shot goes over the head of Kaskasuo. Kaiser, Toninato cutting inside. Chesley was out in front as well, and Paling will pick it up, send it the other way. Too far for Ryan Lindgren to track down. Chesley will take it out in front of a vacated goal as Miska went over into the corner to play it. Now back the other way. Here's Boyd with Toninato. Waffle boarded away by Kaskasuo to the far corner. Chesley and Tufte go in on it. It's Paling working back. Paling, right side, scores. Ryan Paling had the 2-on-1, decided shooting was the better option, and he cashes in, ripples twine, knotted up at 1.
And I got to mention it again, all business from Ryan Paling. No smile after scoring a goal. That is the type of attitude we want to see.
Knotted back up at 1, 3.5 minutes into the first half here from Braemar. Ryan Paling had 11 NHL goals last season for Philadelphia. In his 3rd NHL season, started off with Montreal, made his way to Pittsburgh, and now calls Philadelphia home as Oliver Moore on that far side. Got a nice look on the backhand. How good was he last week? 3 goals, 4 assists.
Well, he was certainly a social media superstar. I think his the tweet with his picture got more likes, more comments, and more everything else than anybody else's combined. So a good start to the summer for Oliver Moore.
Losing an edge on the near side is Travis Boyd. He makes his way to his feet. No look backhand pass for Oliver Moore. He might be feeling some of that buzz from social media as he tries to make a flashy play there. Here's Moore between the dashes. Forehand working it down low and unable to get the shot off on the backhand. Good D that time from Tyler Vezel. This one is flipped through for Jensen. Brings it all the way around town. Backhand drop pass at the right circle. And Jensen gets it back.
Walser making it look easy right now in the O-zone.
Malinsky right side for Moore. Tucks it inside. Being pressured by his Gopher teammate Ryan Chesley. Those guys go to work against each other just about every day in the offseason, and now here in Beauty League, they get to put some of the flashier moves on display. Mike Riley stripped in the slot. Jensen down the right side has Paling with him. Drops it out front for Brodzinski, who can't get to it. Mike Riley with it on the far side. There's Garrett Shifsky rocking his University of Michigan helmet. The Wolverine-style paint on the bucket. The maize and blue.
Iconic. The iconic winged helmet. Hail to the victors.
Mike Riley far side. Switches it up for Addison. Tries to get it through for Jake Gensel, who is definitely the biggest star playing in this one here tonight, really maybe in all of Beauty League, fresh off of a 7-year deal with the Tampa Bay Lightning after finishing off last season in Carolina on a torrid production pace that he carried over into the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Jake Gensel living every Minnesota retiree's dream right now. I believe he's in his mid-20s. Summers in Minnesota, winters in Tampa. I mean, I'm jealous.
The 29-year-old, born in Omaha, Nebraska. His family moved to the great state of Minnesota. Prior to his high school hockey journey, competed at Hill Murray High School. Third-round draft pick by the Pittsburgh Penguins, one of their better recent draft finds, and he taps this one in as Kaskasuo can't cover. Jake Gensel has his first DBL goal, and it's 2-1.
Doing his best Zach Hyman impersonation, knocking in the puck from 3.5 inches away. They all count the same, though.
Gensel hopes to be doing plenty of that down in the Sunshine State this year. But for now, he's doing it here at Braemar. It's his first goal of the season, and it gives Anderson a 2-1 lead. Now, Anderson last week got off to a hot start as well. They led 3-1 in the early goings against Element, and then Element rattled off 7 unanswered goals to really take a firm control of that game. So we'll see if Anderson can keep the pressure on here after building a slim early lead.
Well, if you've got Brock Nelson and Jake Gensel on your team, you might as well be good.
Gensel leaves it for Chesley. That pass intercepted by Vinny Lettieri. We mentioned earlier there's only been one fight in the history of Beauty League as Tufty gets it through. Good stick by Miska, and Vinny Lettieri was one of the 2 players involved.
Well, I'd be curious to know what led to that fight. The only thing that I could possibly see, and maybe I see a little bit of this, I'm not saying Oliver Moore is going to get punched during Beauty League, but you get some of the younger guys that are maybe trying a little hard for some of the veterans. I could see maybe a stick to the back of the legs or something, and maybe that could spark some fisticuffs.
Back the other way, breakaway. Toninato scores. Dom Toninato on the breakaway. Puts it up high, and it's a 3-1 Anderson lead.
He's pointing at somebody in the crowd. I can't tell who it is. The Dom Toninato fan club alive and well.
30-year-old from Duluth, Minnesota, currently skating with the Winnipeg Jets. 13 career NHL goals, and he's got his second of the DBL season. 3-1 lead for Anderson. And getting back to your point about what started that fight, I did a little bit of reading in my preparation for Beauty League. It was actually a dispute about running up the score, if you can believe it. Yeah, Lettieri and Bluger. I believe it was Lettieri that didn't take kindly to Bluger's team tacking on some extra goals late in the game, and they went at it.
Bluger tell him it's July. There's one of those unwritten rules of summer hockey that you don't score goals.
Letary, the Edina, Minnesota native. They breed a different level of competitor here in Edina. And
He played his high school puck for Minnetonka, though.
is that so?
If memory serves, I mean, my
wonder how
memory's
that-
terrible, but I think he played for Minnetonka.
Wonder how that sat with grandfather Lou. Of course, a Hornet through and through.
Where's
Boyd
our
up
research
the right
staff?
side. Toninato save is made, and Kaskasuo will let this one go. Moore knifing his way through, tries to spin and fire a pass that catches the skate of Vezel. Mike Riley up ahead for Vezel. Boyd on the back door, and he possesses it in the right corner. Now here's Jensen up the right side with Johnny Brodzinski. Jensen puts a shot on. Pad save is made by Miska. Rebound chance. Letary right out front. And a sprawling save is made by Hunter Miska.
Minnetonka High School.
Interesting.
58 points in his last season with the Skippers. Thank you, Elite Prospects.
Elite Prospects, I feel like I should ink a brand deal with them at some point. The amount of time I spend on that website is quite frankly obscene, as Vezel has that one hop up off his stick. Walser gets a clear as Justin Braun heads to the bench for some fresh legs.
Well, if you're looking to get started in a hobby, I can set you up with your local postmaster and you can start collecting stamps.
Beautiful back and forth play. Shivsky to Vezel, back to Shivsky. And the Michigan Wolverine puts it home. Third goal of the DBL season. 4-1 Anderson.
Garrett Shivsky looks like a guy to me who not only collects goals but also collects stamps, if you'd like to start that hobby.
Garrett Shivsky played his high school puck here in the state of hockey at Andover High School. The 21-year-old with a torrid freshman season at the University of Michigan was named to the All-Big Ten freshman team, and he was the only Anderson player to score multiple goals last week. He carries on this pace, and now he's got some room back the other way. Shivsky over to Kaiser, back to Shivsky, score!
They're starting to run away with it now. Fan favorite Garrett Shivsky.
Shivsky and Kaiser sprung a mini 2-on-0 there. They had multiple defenders hot on their heels, but able to keep the puck far enough in front of them to exchange passes. Shivsky back-to-back games with multiple goals, and it's 5-1 Anderson.
Here's something I love about Garrett Shivsky. You look at the University of Michigan, and there's arguably no bigger brand in college athletics than the University of Michigan, and they have the hockey names to prove it. Frank Nazar, a known commodity by the time he got to campus. The Hudsons, known commodities by the time they got to campus. Garrett Shivsky, he didn't take the most direct route to Ann Arbor, but he has certainly earned his playing time in the maize and blue, and I love seeing somebody come off the beaten path.
Shivsky spent his maximum of 3 seasons with Waterloo of the USHL. Eventually, in his age 20 season, was voted captain of the Waterloo Blackhawks, averaged almost a point a game. A big-time producer. The only knock you can really put on him is his size at 5'9", but really he's produced at every level he's been at. And I have a feeling there's going to be some NHL team that lucks out with Garrett Shivsky as he remains unsigned. And we have icing here, under 10 minutes to go here in the first.
Wildly productive, and Garrett Shivsky, the heart of a lion, I'm assuming.
5-1, Anderson over Walser here. Both teams still with use of the Dick's House of Sport double puck. Again, 2-minute period. All goals count as double for the team that flips the switch to trigger the goal lamp on their bench. Again, still very early, but the deficit for Walser of 4 goals, as looking to add to it there is Brock Nelson. Glove save made by Kaskasuo, who keeps it in play. but the double puck makes a 4-goal game really a 2-score game. Could be big for Walser down the stretch. Gensel on the near side. Tries to thread it through for Brock Nelson. Addison with a backhand pass. Nelson chops at it, but some pressure from Oliver Moore keeps him from settling it down. Moore for Braun. Up the right side, Oliver Moore in the slot, he scores. Oliver Moore picks up where he left off. 4th goal of the season. Walser with an answer here, it's 5-2.
I can't wait to see the social media reaction to Oliver Moore scoring another goal. I took a peruse through the Twitterverse after last week's games, and it seems half and half. Half the people, it feels like they put a lot of stock into the moves and the shots in a 4-on-4 game, and then the other half make comments like, oh, my local beer league could do that. I mean, your local beer league can't, but I'm sure Oliver Moore's goal will spark a little more discourse.
Riley Tufte for Paling. Beautiful move, but he roofs it. Ryan Paling did everything right there except Barry. Puts the moves on, lofts it up into the protective netting. Nice find there from Riley Tufte, who I know you were excited to see before this one.
Part of the reason I'm excited to see Riley Tufte is that I can think back to when Riley was in high school, and I have a picture that I took of him at this very arena. He was just as tall as he is now, 6'12", but fond memories of watching Riley Tufte and Rauto, I believe, being named Mr. Hockey.
Riley Tufte, 6'6", 231 pounds. The Coon Rapids, Minnesota native, spent his high school years at Blaine. And yes, he was the 2016 Mr. Hockey here in the state of Minnesota, as we have a nameplate on the ice that our officials will pick up. But really a key piece of some really good Blaine teams in the mid-2010s.
Blaine is an interesting place. The talent comes in cycles, but when Blaine
Letary scores.
Good, high school hockey is good when Blaine is good.
That it is. Vinny Letary, the Minnetonka skipper, had a hat trick last week. Finds the back of the net here on the breakaway blocker side on Hunter Miska. And it's 5-3. Jensen springs it for Letary. Johnny Brodzinski, backdoor. Did Hunter Miska get a glove on that?
I don't think so. Doing his best Dominic Hasek impersonation. I don't know if he got a piece of the puck, though.
Boyd drops it for Toninato across to Addison. That one hit a skate. Letary full head of steam back. Pass too far for Johnny Brodzinski. Malinsky across the crease. Letary gets a piece of it, but unable to guide it on net.
We could tell if Miska got a piece of the puck if our replay monitor was currently working, which it's in the shop right now.
Vezel for Kalen Addison. Shifsky. Addison off the skate. Backhand goal.
Net off. Net's off.
Kalen Addison had 1 point last week, but this is his first DBL goal. It is back to a 3-goal Anderson lead on the feed from Garrett Shifsky.
Boy, we're about to get into that 5-minute mark. Crunch time here in the first half.
6-3 Anderson lead, as they have had a counter punch for every punch that Walser throws trying to get back into this one. Anderson last week blew an early 3-1 lead over Element. Gave up 7 unanswered goals, but this week they've been able to find that offensive punch to answer, and it helps having a couple NHL All-Stars in the fold with Brock Nelson and Jake Gensel. Johnny Brodzinski, right circle. Comes out to center. Justin Braun will play it there. Up ahead, Johnny Brodzinski. Left circle, Letary. Up high, Jensen. Backhand into the left corner. Forced in there by Chesley. Now out front, Shifsky will take it in front of his own goal, looks to go coast to coast. Down the left side, Wyatt Kaiser breaks to the net. Kaskasuo makes the save. That'll be some good GoPro footage. Wyatt Kaiser had a full head of steam on that breakaway, but Kaskasuo denies entry.
Shutting down the Andover duo of Shifsky and Kaiser. That'll be something to put in one of Kaskasuo's highlight videos. I got a question.
Out front, Chesley.
Does he get reimbursed if that GoPro gets broken during one of these games?
That's a really good question.
Are we on the hook for that?
I think those things are made to last, though. I mean, I don't think it would survive a Jake Gensel slap shot by any means, but I think it could take a few bumps and bruises.
Well, maybe Jake will take a slap shot at this point and we'll get to find out. Now I'm curious.
Brock Nelson has some space left side. Back check pressure from Moore. Pad save made. Gensel fans on the rebound, and it's controlled by Bernard Docker. Coming up on 3 minutes to play here in the first half. Game 1 saw Element improve to 2-0 with a 16-8 drubbing of Tria, who falls to 0-2. Backdoor look for Kaiser as Gensel fed him that time, and it goes wide. Addison for Gensel. Kaiser with it now. Kalen Addison down low, tipped on net by Nelson, but able to make the stick save is Kaskasuo. Kaskasuo's got to be thinking, I didn't think getting screened by Brock Nelson was in the DBL job description.
Well, it might have been a part of his DBL contract, though. You got to read the fine print sometimes. It's like reading terms and conditions on a website.
Nelson, geometric pass for Gensel, whose pass is behind Kalen Addison. Pressure in the corner from Tufty. And a bank pass up for Letary, 3-on-1. Letary, Tufty, and Lindgren. It's Lindgren who collects the batted pass. Malinsky down low for Letary on the back door, who gets it back. And he's forced off the puck by Mike Riley, and it's picked up by Nelson. We've got the New York Islanders connection on the ice right now with Nelson and Riley. They play pitch and catch for Gensel.
Would you rather play for the Rangers or the Islanders?
Rangers all the way. Original 6. The true blue blood as Lindgren breaks inside, backhand goal.
If you ever needed another reason to want to play for the Rangers,
Ryan Lindgren finds the back of the net. Walser brings us within one score, within 2 goals, as it's 6-4.
Some soft hands there from Ryan Lindgren. Maybe if they tried him at forward, he could do that a little more often.
Lindgren has become a mainstay in the New York Rangers lineup. On defense, as we are under 1 minute to go here in the first half. Trivia time for you. There was a mega deal, without looking at your notes, a mega deal involving Ryan Lindgren back in 2018. Can you name the player that was the centerpiece of that deal between the Boston Bruins and the New York Rangers?
Bobby Orr.
We're looking for Rick Nash.
Oh, so not Bobby.
Toninato! I don't know how he got it in there. He had about a 4-inch space, top corner on Kaskasuo. But Dom Toninato gets his second of the evening as we head into break. What a goal. That's going to be one heck of a replay.
Eat your heart out, Rick Nash.
Braun for Letary looking to get a last-second goal as it is 7-4. Anderson at the break. Dom Toninato with an exclamation point late in the first half. Second goal of the evening, third of the season. 7-4 Anderson at the break. Peter, your thoughts?
I've seen more back checking in the last 6 minutes of that half than I have in every game up to this point, especially Oliver Moore. He is back checking like his life depends on it.
Vinny Letary with his 4th DBL goal here in the first half. He's at ice level with Anna Baining.
Hot dog day. So how many hot dogs do you think you'd be able to eat in a hot dog eating contest?
Time limit or no?
Sure, let's just say there's a minute on the clock. No, a minute. Let's do like 5 minutes. 5 minutes.
5 minutes? Boy, maybe 4 to 5. I wouldn't be that good. No, 4 to 5. No, not like Kobayashi. 4
to 5. Okay.
4 to 5.
And is a hot dog a sandwich, in your opinion? Really quick. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
Is a hot dog a sandwich?
You consider it a sandwich?
No.
Okay. Thanks, Vinny. Only the important stuff here. Back up to you guys in the booth.
Thank you, Anna. Good to hear from Vinny Lettieri, the former member of the Minnesota Wild, current member as of about 3 weeks ago, but dealt on draft night to Boston, and he will play his games this next season in the black and gold on the Eastern Seaboard, and now is as good a time as ever as we get ready to drop the puck on the second half of play. To remind you that Walser is a multi-generational family business that is still family-owned and operated today. Family is Walser's #1 core value. #2 is faith. #3 is growth. They employ 1,900 plus people across 28 dealerships in their corporate operations. Check out Walser.com to learn more. And starting off hot in the second half is Walser. As they find the back of the net, it's a 2-goal game.
Well, it looked like the third premium scoring chance that Walser had to start this second half. In the first 30 seconds, they finally bury one.
7-5. Nick Jensen getting on the board. That's his first Beauty League goal. Oliver Moore with a backhand shot on goal. Save is made by Miska.
There's no way we're tracking plus minus for this, is there?
I'm sure it's out there.
Somewhere? Oliver Moore is probably at plus 1,000 right
Johnny
now.
Brodzinski tip shot on goal. Save is made by Miska. Anderson Group Incorporated is a holding company that specializes in acquiring businesses in the construction industry. They aim to acquire synergistic companies with strong leadership, solid reputations, and high potential for growth, staying true to their motto, building on your good name. Travis Boyd had some space. Shot goes wide of the glove side of Kaskasuo. Spinorama pass from Addison trying to find Toninato, and it's broken up.
Will, that was a heck of a sponsor read.
Appreciate that, Peter.
That was fantastic.
Oliver Moore crashing inside. Back check pressure from Mike Riley. Game 2 of week 2 of the Beauty League here from Braemar Arena. Good crowd on hand for some summer hockey here in the state of hockey. Was that intentional from Travis Boyd?
If it was, they just ruined the chance. Toninato just ruined the chance by missing the net. That was a nice play, though.
There was enough of a smirk on Travis Boyd's face now as he heads to the net. Now as Garrett Shifsky gets a breakaway score. I don't think Kaskasuo ever saw that puck.
I don't think he did either.
Garrett Shifsky, lightning release. It's a hat trick. It's goal number 5 of the DBL season. And it is 8-5 Anderson.
I'm a little disappointed that nobody throws a hat on the ice for hat tricks here.
How good is Garrett Shifsky, man?
If I could hang out with him, I'd hang out with Garrett Shifsky. I don't really want to hang out with Brock Nelson. I'll hang out with Garrett Shifsky. He's going to score again right here.
Shifsky up high. Might try to get some of his teammates involved as Chesley will pull it out.
One more goal for Shifsky on this shift.
Here's Kaiser. Shifsky trailing the play here as Chesley's shot goes high. Now Shifsky holds at the left circle. Kaiser up high. Thread pass through, intended for Chesley. It's taken by Paling. Far side, Bernard Docker reverses the field for Paling. Breaking it down low. His shot goes wide. Collects his own rebound off the end board. Puck sits out front. Kaiser holds. Tries to flip it up for Shifsky. Now he loses control of it up near the blue line. Had some space out in front of him, but couldn't corral. Bernard Docker back, finds Paling. That pass is broken up. Vezel with some space. Pokes it up for Shifsky. Backhand pass for Vezel out front, and he can't get a shot off.
No, that was his chance. If he was going to make me look real smart, there it was.
Shifsky goes for the change, so Peter's prediction fails, although he did have some high-quality chances. Would not be surprised to see Shifsky add one or two more before this one's done. Bernard Docker with it. Up for Moore. Oliver Moore, right circle, tries to go down low on Miska, who makes a nice right pad save. Another no-look pass from Moore. Lettieri, now Malinsky. Moore right circle. Out front for Lettieri across the crease. Miska slides and makes the save. Brock Nelson right side. Backhand centering pass is knocked away up front, now back the other way. Miska comes out of his cage to settle it with some pressure from Lettieri, drops it for Gensel.
Well, somebody from Walser just went off the ice. I think that was Ryan Paling. Makes his way down the tunnel here at the Hornets' Nest.
Mike Riley across the crease. We will keep an eye on Rylan Paling's status here in this one. Gensel scores!
That was nice.
Silky mitts for Jake Gensel. Walks the dog, puts it in the kennel. It's 9-5.
You put your dog in a kennel after a walk?
Yeah, it's all tired out.
Oh my god.
Got to put it to sleep. Not like that. Jake Gensel, second of the evening. 9-5 Anderson.
All right, we've got the animal cruelty out of the way tonight.
Lettieri in the corner. Gensel works it for Chesley. Got Kaiser. Drop pass back. Nelson scores. Unfair. Nelson and Gensel team up once again. Absolutely unfair to Casimir Kaskasuo and the entire Walser back line. It's the second goal of the night for Brock Nelson, and it's 10-5.
I don't know how it's possible when you have arms as long as Brock Nelson's to have a deceptive release, but it's just so smooth coming off the blade.
Brock Nelson was an all-star for the first time in 2023. He won the accuracy shooting competition, beating out Nazem Kadri in that one. He was a first-round draft pick of the New York Islanders, spent his entire career thus far as an Islander, although he will be an unrestricted free agent for the first time in nearly 6 years this summer. Have a hard time seeing him in any other colors than the blue and orange.
Well, if we know anything about Lou Lamoriello, it's that he takes Deputy League stats very seriously. So right now, Brock is playing his way into an extension. He's also really putting Class A on his back, a first-round NHL draft pick out of Warroad High School. That's fantastic advertising for Class A hockey.
Kaiser up the left side. That would be an interesting data point. Find the highest drafted Class A hockey player that was drafted directly out of high school.
Oh, I think Brock Nelson's up there. First round, I can't think of anybody higher.
Kaiser for Toninato in the slot. Has all kinds of time. Kaskasuo knocks it down, and it's swept into the corner. Anderson, after a disappointing offensive showing week one against Element, is starting to show why they were the preseason favorite. And again, you cannot underestimate the influence that the two NHL All-Stars, Brock Nelson and Jake Gensel, have. Just effortless scoring touch for this Anderson team.
Well, and then on the other side, you've got Oliver Moore, who's driving everybody bananas with his effort tonight, chasing guys around behind the net, stick lifting, poke checking.
Justin Braun gets it out front and puts it home. Walser has an answer, and it's 10-6.
Walser making a heck of a case to be the place where I buy my next car right now.
Justin Braun, his first of the evening. The St. Paul, Minnesota native. Puts it home, and Lettieri is egregiously offside that time, so we'll get a whistle. Coming up on 14 minutes to go here in game number 2. Don't go anywhere after this. We've got a good one. Edition number 2 of the Tradition rivalry between Tradition Mortgage and Tradition Capital Bank. PWHL playoff MVP and inaugural draft number 1 overall pick Taylor Heisey will be competing this evening for the first time in the Beauty League season. Dare I call her the Caitlin Clark of women's hockey?
It's an insult to Taylor Heisey. Caitlin Clark is the Taylor Heisey of women's basketball.
That is a very fair comparison. Heisey, an absolute star for PWHL Minnesota in their inaugural season. A big, big piece of why they brought home the inaugural Walter Cup as Addison works up on the right side, cross pass, nobody home.
And away from the ice, Taylor Heisey is going to be a huge piece of the PWHL moving forward, arguably the most marketable player in the league. She's honestly, she might be on the Mount Rushmore already.
Addison left side. Riley, left circle. Works into the corner, pressure from Lindgren. Toninato will take it right side. Riley. Pressure from Lindgren. He's forced to take it out into the neutral zone. And he finds Chesley. Shifsky fresh off the bench. Chesley, what a move to the forehand. Can't get a shot off. Good back check from Oliver Moore. Shifsky out front, goes through the legs.
That would have been a great way to get a fourth.
Moore into the slot. You could tell there's an extra burst of speed there for Oliver Moore. And from a guy who we thought was already operating at top speed, you can tell there's a discernible difference as he turned it on that time. Jensen across the crease. Braun can't get a shot off. Now pressure from Kaiser in the corner. Spinning past the left side for Moore. Puts it out front. Braun pokes at it, but Miska is able to seal the line. Under 12 to go here. Anderson with a 4-goal lead.
Nice to hear that Justin Braun is from St. Paul, Minnesota. I'd be curious to know which youth organization he played for growing up.
Face-off is one back, and Wyatt Kaiser will control for Anderson. Again, 10-6 your score here. Just past the halfway point here in half number 2. Neither side has used their Dick's House of Sport double puck. The double puck was not much of a factor in week 1's games. Moore has some space on the left side, gets inside, and a pad save made by Miska.
There's that burst of speed you were just talking about. My goodness.
Shifsky back the other way. Speaking of the double puck, he was the only player in week 1 to record a double puck goal. It came late in their loss to Element, and it felt at the time that it might spurn a comeback, but Element was able to close that one out. And the double puck, certainly something that could be used late here by Walser to eke their way back into this one.
Well, I think you made a good point last week when you said you didn't know just if teams knew how to use the double puck quite yet. And I think that's an excellent point. I think as we get further and further into the Beauty League season, we'll see more double pucks.
Brodzinski, what a save made that time by Miska. Sliding to his left, he's able to reach across his body and make a nice blocker save. Shifsky in his own end for Addison. Up the right side, shot sent on that time by Vezel. Knocked away by Kaskasuo. Now here's Shifsky for Addison across the crease. Riley too far for his reach. Now on the right side, it's Brock Nelson cutting his way into the slot. Riley picks it up, fires for Addison. All kinds of time. Now up for Riley. Vezel after the deflection to the near side, back for Addison. Anderson is swarming here, unable to really get a clean look off as Nelson that time misses the net.
Kalen Addison setting a record for longest time holding the puck in the Beauty League without shooting or passing. Usually the guys aren't holding the puck for very long, but Kalen Addison taking his time.
Bernard Docker up the right side. Has Brodzinski with him, tried to get it through to him, broken up by the stick of Brock Nelson and played into the corner. Now nearly an own goal as Mike Riley played it out in front of Miska, but luckily Miska paying attention and able to knock it away. Nelson with some space on the left side, has Gensel out front, tap in, try, Kaskasuo. I don't think he knew where the puck was, and still down on his rear end as he's able to get to his knees now.
He was slow getting up there. Couldn't quite tell what he was doing.
Might need a Red Bull.
Well, the Red Bull people aren't here this week, and let me tell you, that is a real detriment.
Brock Nelson plays it near his own bench. 8:20 to go here in the second half. It's a 10-6 Anderson lead as Anderson looks to avenge last week's loss. Brodzinski up the right side. Johnny Brodzinski got Hunter Miska right in the mask. Brodzinski skates up, gives him a little stick tap there, completely takes the mask off of Hunter Miska as both those straps just collapse under the weight of that wrister. So we'll have a brief stoppage here. Miska gets the helmet back on, and we are good to go.
Well, thankfully he was smiling after the helmet popped off. I know some goalies who wouldn't take too kindly to being hit in the face.
Kaiser up the left side. Nelson plays it off the defender, Braun, gets it low. Nick Jensen in there to break it up for Walser. Now up the right side, Lettieri for Braun. Lindgren down the left side, sends this one through. Pad save is made by Hunter Miska.
Oh, nice defensive play there by Walser. Nick Jensen.
Braun up the right side. Nearly saved by Miska, who flails his legs into the air, but able to get it through is Nick Jensen, and it's a 3-goal game.
I don't think they
Check that, it's Justin Braun.
They don't put that caricature in The Art of Goaltending. It certainly also wouldn't be in a video titled The Fundamentals of Goaltending, but I like Hunter Miska's willingness to get a little creative.
3-goal game as Justin Braun puts it home. And now a double puck goal gets you within 1. 2 double puck goals puts you away by 1. As that one goes up and out of play, Jim Carroll imploring the fans to get behind the Walser comeback. We really haven't had a true down-to-the-wire game yet into Beauty League.
Not yet, but tonight could be the night where within 3, both teams still have their double puck. If Jim Carroll told me to run through a brick wall, I'd run through a brick wall.
Riley for Addison, right side. Backhand pass is intercepted by Vinny Lettieri. He's got an angle here on the right side. Drop pass back for Malinsky. Bernard Docker scores! Jacob Bernard Docker. One-time goal up high. Walser storming back into this one. It's 10-8.
That's the Jim Carroll effect. The Jim Carroll effect. He stirred the crowd up, got him behind Walser, and here we go.
10-8, the Anderson lead. Jacob Bernard Docker is first of the night. Now here's Oliver Moore across the crease for Lettieri. And it's Malinsky on the right wing half wall. Addison, stretch pass for Boyd. Boyd inside, backhand shot, save made, Kaskasuo. Malinsky up the right side. A little bit of buzz here in the building for the first time here in the DBL season. Fans are looking forward to a tight finish.
If you're really quiet, you can hear the windows rattling.
Oliver Moore loses the puck. Tanada will take it.
Is that Jim Carroll playing on the microphone?
It sure sounds like it.
Wow.
As Oliver Moore spins around up in the high slot. Under 5 minutes to go here in a 2-goal game.
What can't Jim Carroll do?
Lindgren left side. On the back door, Tufty has that one go high. Tanada working back with Chesley. Across for Boyd, his shot, save made, rebound, Kaskasuo clears. Now here's Jensen. Drops for Tufty. Back across Jensen, nice save made with the pad by Miska. Moore has Tufte, leaves it for Jensen. Lindgren cleans up the rebound and controls it behind. Moore calling for the puck. It's broken up by Shifsky. Tufte goes to help out, and here's a breakaway look for Vesel. Big insurance goal potential as Kaskasuo makes the glove save. Shifsky comes in, and Kaskasuo shuts the door again. The Anderson bench preparing for pulling the double puck, and you'll think that Walser is going to want to think about it soon here with 3.5 to go.
Our coach just had his finger on the trigger on the Anderson bench. Getting a little late in the game here, fellas.
Lindgren left side. Into the left corner. It's Brodzinski with pressure from Addison. Up high, Bernard Docker, the most recent goal scorer. He's going to put a move on here. He has Tufte on the back door. Bernard Docker skies this one into the netting. And there's under 3 minutes to go here now in the second half. Time starting to run out for Walser.
Boy, Bernard Docker with the patience of Mother Teresa on that play, but it doesn't pay off.
Malinsky. That shot is blocked by Miska. Again, the double puck still in play for both sides. Riley for Shifsky. Riley's shot goes high, and now we're approaching the part of the game where you're going to lose hot puck time if you don't flip the switch with 2:20 to play. Addison ahead for Riley. Another goal here would be huge. It looks like both sides are going to use the double puck at the same time. Now it's used for Walser. It's Tufte, tie game! Double puck goal. Riley Tufte, we are tied.
I honestly don't know how to react. This is the most drama I've ever seen at Braemar Ice Arena.
Riley Tufte with a double puck goal. We are tied up at 10, 2 minutes to go. Both sides have triggered their Dick's House of Sport double puck. Let's get weird, folks.
10, here we go.
Lindgren, far side, up high for Jensen. Less than 2 minutes to go. It's all tied up at 10 between Walser and Anderson. A spirited Walser comeback. They trailed 10-5 at one point. Here's a shot from the point by Johnny Brodzinski through traffic. It is knocked down out front, and we will pause with 1:34 to play.
And now we're into stoppage time. This is going to feel almost like a regular game where the last 90 seconds in stoppage time feels like an eternity.
Kaiser up ahead. We have not had an overtime game yet in Beauty League. The overtime rules are, quite frankly, a bit deranged. We'll get into that more should there be a need, should neither side come out ahead in these last 75 seconds.
And by deranged, you mean fun.
Yes, not in a bad way. Gensel, left circle. Weaves it behind, now finds Brock Nelson, wide open. Chesley back for Nelson, he can't get a shot off. Less than 1 minute remaining here in regulation, up to the point for Kaiser. To the far side, Gensel. Nelson down low. Backhand shot, knocked down by Lindgren. Brock Nelson working it behind. Walser looking for the clear. They get it out to center. Kaiser gets them back in on side. He has Gensel on the back door. Opts to shoot it, goes high over Kaskasuo, and up out of play. 34.1 ticks to go, all tied up at 10 here late between Anderson and Walser.
My gosh, the tone is so different than earlier in the game. The shoulders are getting a little lower. The hands are getting a little more tight around the stick. The goalies are playing a little bit more focused. This is just fun.
Lettieri and Nelson on the draw. Lettieri wins it, 30 seconds to go here late. Oliver Moore, he was absolutely filthy last week. Feeds for Bernard Docker, who goes off the iron. Bernard Docker rings the iron. Lettieri, 15 seconds left. Loses an edge. Gensel might have tripped him up. No call. Lettieri, Bernard Docker Glove save made by Miska. Rebound chance is deflected away. Letary centering look, 2 seconds. Malinsky on goal. Rebound goes high. Overtime. Hunter Miska with one valiant last stand. We will have overtime here in the Beauty League.
Oh, man, if you could feel my heart right now, we're pounding.
We will resurface and play a 20-minute stop time overtime session.
We are heading to overtime, and the overtime rules here in the Beauty League, like we mentioned, a little bit different. We have 3 pucks on each side that will be set on the blue lines. Consider it a continuous one-man shootout. Both teams go at the same time. Essentially, first team to 3 goals wins it. The first team to net all of their pucks will come out as champions here. It's going to be Kaskasuo and Hunter Miska resuming their positions in goal. Boy, is this going to be a fun finish here, Peter.
Well, Jim Carroll just scared the crap out of everybody in the building by saying we're going to have a 20-minute stop time overtime after a resurface. I prefer this method. I think this is going to be really, really exciting. And from a social media standpoint, these goals are going to turn into a 10 billion clips.
Have a feeling we're going to see Brock Nelson and Jake Gensel, probably along with Garrett Shifsky as the first 3 for Anderson.
Alrighty.
Walser. Have a feeling we're going to see Moore, Letary, maybe Johnny Brodzinski or Riley Tufte.
No, I say you go Bernard Docker.
He has been good here late. Bernard Docker scored that beautiful one-time goal. It's going to be Letary.
I mean, how do you even
Matthew
call this?
Boyd makes the save. Letary scores on the other end. It's an early 1-0 lead for Walser. Moore and Toninato. Toninato is denied. Moore backhand shot. Save is made by Miska.
What hustle by
Here's
Oliver
Jake
Moore.
Gensel. Roofs it. Down on the other end. Tufte inside score. 2-0 lead for Walser. Now with a chance to win it. Brodzinski scores! Johnny Brodzinski, shootout winner. Walser is 2-0. What a comeback, what a win.
I can't help but laugh. The energy in the building after an absolute carnival of hockey in the overtime session is palpable.
The overtime shootout winner is Johnny Brodzinski. It's a 3-0 shootout sweep for Walser. What a game. 11-10 your final. Walser moves to 2-0. Anderson with lofty expectations coming in now, 0-2.
I think we got Garrett Shifsky as one of the players of the game. Are we doing co-players of the game like we did for the last one? Nope.
Garrett Shifsky, player of the game, had a hat trick. He'll sign a puck here, flip it up into the crowd. Peter, that game really felt like a microcosm of what the Beauty League is all about. Some good hockey being played late as we get our other player of the game, Johnny Brodzinski, for the shootout winner. Or maybe not. Maybe he's just coming to give a little fist bump to the puck guy.
I think he's got a puck. He's going to hand it off to somebody in the crowd. Nice to see Garrett Shifsky and Oliver Moore signing some autographs over there. And I think you just hit the nail on the head. This is what the Beauty League is all about. High scoring, fast paced, interactive, exciting, and then you sign autographs after the game. Could not be more pleased with the way this game turned out.
It is a 11-10 victory for Walser. They move to 2-0. Anderson falls to 0-2. We get our first real barn burner of the DBL season. We get our first overtime of the DBL season. And Walser comes out on top. We are going to take a break. When we return, Taylor Heisey makes her 2024 Beauty League debut. Tradition Capital Bank and Tradition Mortgage in the women's contest. We'll be right back. Back from Braemar Arena, game number 3 of week 2 of the 2024 Deputy League season. The second edition of what is sure to become a storied rivalry between Tradition Mortgage and Tradition Capital Bank. Back here inside Braemar Arena alongside Pete Narodny and Anna Baining down at ice level. I'm Will Peterson. Peter, there is a lot to be excited about in this matchup. It was a good one last week, much closer than the final score ended up indicating. But the number one thing to be excited about in this has to be the return of Taylor Heisey to Deputy League.
You know what? I would be willing to bet that Taylor Heisey is the reason that half the crowd is here right now. There's a sign. I can't read what it says. I'm assuming it says something about Taylor Heisey on it. She has become, over the last few months, an absolute superstar, not only in the hockey world, but in Minnesota. The young kids here are here to see Taylor Heisey.
Taylor missed last week of Deputy League. You might ask what her excuse was. Was she just lounging up at the lake? Did she have a family engagement? No, just she was casually at the ESPYs being honored.
The ESPYs were last week?
They were.
Oh, cool. That's a good excuse.
Heisey ties up on the draw. Tradition Mortgage will skate from left to right wearing maroon. Tradition Capital Bank will skate from right to left wearing white. As breaking inside there is Abby Breen shooting on goal of Skylar Vetter, who last week had the first shutout in the history of Deputy League.
Already the pace outstripping the men's games by tenfold.
Breen with pressure from Maddie Wethington. There is 2 new names for Mortgage, Heisey and Maggie Flaherty. For Capital Bank, they add Izzy Daniel, Denisa Krasova, and Natalie Bookbinder, as well as adding Ava Lindsay and Kelly Panic from the Mortgage team. Some minor roster shuffling as we head into week 2 here, but looking forward to a good one here as we have come up on 1 minute gone here in our nightcap.
Very excited to see Izzy Daniel here tonight, a finalist for the Patty Kazmaier Award at Cornell this season.
In the near corner, Savannah Norcross with it. She had a goal last week. Pressure there from Panic. Audrey Wethington turns and fires. Blocker save made by Nicole Hensley, who is back in goal for Tradition Capital this week. Up the left side, now reversing the field. Working into the zone is Norcross. She fires off a wrister that goes wide to the blocker side of Hensley. Nearly too many players there. On the near side, Norcross. That shot goes wide. Maddie Wethington fans onto that at the point. Pressure from Ava Lindsay coming back. And with under 21 to play, Gilday will play it in the near side. Nice pass up ahead. Here's Levis closing in. Save is made by Hensley, who was ready to go for the poke check on that one.
Boy, you're not going to catch either of these goaltenders napping, certainly not willing to give up double-digit goals like we saw earlier tonight.
I would say we have 2 of the, and perhaps you're projecting a little bit with Skylar Vetter where her career might end up, but we might have 2 of the top 10 goalies in the country here at Braemar Arena.
The world.
Yeah.
The world. I mean, depending on what kind of conversation you want to have, like you said, about Skylar Vetter and where her career could be going, but we're certainly not lacking for talent between the pipes tonight.
Olivia Mobley with it in the left corner. For Panic, between the dashes, try to go blocker side on Vetter. It goes wide. Geometric pass now onto the near side. Turned over. Taken by Capital. Stretch pass up ahead, catches the skate of Barine, and Vetter will cover. So Skylar Vetter, fresh off of the 21 save shutout, again, like we mentioned, the first shutout in DBL history, which is and isn't surprising given the style of play we see. I mean, you would figure maybe once in a while a goalie will run into one, but with the amount of high caliber looks that are able to get off, and that's not to say that Vetter didn't make a whole host of phenomenal saves. There were several points where we thought the shutout would be broken, but definitely an interesting accolade to say the least as Heisey cuts into the slot. Her first shot on goal of the game. Hensley makes the save.
And this is a completely different style of play from the games earlier tonight and including last week, different from the men's style. It's certainly tighter. It's a little more defensive, and quite honestly, the effort's just there. In some of the men's games, you see some players give up on a back check. They don't pressure very much below the goal line. You're not going to see that here in the women's game. This is going to be toe-to-toe down to the wire.
Zumwinkle and Heisey into the zone. Heisey will pull up on the left side half wall. The Red Wing Minnesota native. He gets it around for Zumwinkle, right corner. Threads it through back for Heisey.
I hear her hometown makes a great pair of boots.
Red Wing, Minnesota, indeed home of Red Wing boots and shoes.
Right. I couldn't tell if you got that or not. I was
the
folks
folks
say, you've never
down
heard of
there
Red Wing?
Doing some fine work down in the very southeastern corner of the great state of Minnesota. Minnesota does not get enough love for its biogeographic diversity. There are like 4 clear biomes in the state of Minnesota, and all people think it is a bunch of trees and snow. Beautiful state, especially when you get into the southern half.
What are these SAT words you're throwing at me? Biogeographic diversity. Okay, Mr. DNR.
Daniel across, backhand shot that time. Skylar Vetter makes the save.
But I do agree.
Gilday's pass is intercepted. Daniel one time sliding across to smother it.
Oh my
is
gosh.
Skylar Vetter.
What a release from Daniel.
Really got into that one.
Skylar Vetter more than up to the task.
Izzy Daniel last season at Cornell, 59 points in 34 games played. A third-round draft pick. Norcross breakaway. Hensley save. Norcross somehow snuck behind the defense, bearing in on Nicole Hensley, but she stands tall and keeps this game scoreless.
Well, and Norcross gave Hensley a little chop there looking for a loose puck. I saw a smile come across Norcross's face. Couldn't see Nicole Hensley's face. Don't know if she was all right with that second effort or not.
Flaherty right point. Long shot, nicely played there by Hensley to keep this puck in play. Stretch pass for Buterak. And her return pass too far for Daniel to handle. See some good physicality going into the corner there. Maddie Wethington laying the body on Buterak.
If there were going to be a fight in women's hockey, this would be the place.
Ava Lindsay sweeps through to take it. She is the points leader on the women's side of things. 5 assists in last week's win for Mortgage. This week she's flipping around and competing for Capital, as Levis will control it near side corner. Lindsay again. Lee Steckline with it. One of the more decorated players on this ice, an extensive overseas career competing for the great country of the USA, as Lindsay zone entry is offsides, but the list of Steckline accolades is extremely long. To name some, she is a 6-time world champion, an Olympic gold medalist, a 2-time silver medalist, and of course lifted the inaugural Walter Cup this season for PWHL Minnesota.
If you were putting together a Mount Rushmore, certainly of women's hockey in Minnesota, Lee Steckline could find her face etched into some rock.
30 years old, Roseville, Minnesota native.
The cradle of almost all things women's hockey in Minnesota. Shameless plug.
Lindsay right corner for Mobley. Bookbinder out front, unable to get the shot off. Mortgage will work back. 14 and change to go here in the first half. No score between Tradition Mortgage and Tradition Capital Bank. Very similar to the early goings of last week's game. Some good back and forth play, but the defense has been stingy enough, and the goaltenders have made the big saves when they need to keep this game scoreless. Zumwinkle, nice move to the backhand, back to the forehand, and Hensley does a nice job to close the angle. Madison Bazal with it now. Stripped of the puck by Krzyzova. 13 and a half, Zumwinkle for Heisey. Taylor Heisey back out there. Flaherty is offsides that time. Tried to keep that weight on her left foot to pull her back over the line, but we'll get an offsides whistle here coming up on 13 to go.
Did not know if they were going to make that call, but when you're 7 feet offsides, at some point you got to blow the whistle.
Nice play by Heisey off the draw. She collects the puck up out of her breezers. Now tries to snipe Nicole Hensley, who does a nice job sealing the post and keeping Heisey out. Krzyzova drops it. Nice shot there from Emily Brown, but it's knocked down. Now it's a 2-on-0 back. Heisey and Zumwinkle. This is going to be a treat. Heisey on the back door, and she can't get the shot off. Backhands it out front, Zumwinkle. Right side, tries to put a move on it. Stripped that time by Barine. Now here's Lee Steckline down the right side to 3-on-1. Steckline for Krzyzova. Backdoor goal! Abby Barine on the back door. Steckline sets up the tic-tac-toe, and Abby Barine has our game's first goal, 1-0 Capital.
The shutout streak, the scoreless streak, officially snapped for Skylar Vetter.
Tradition Capital is on the board for the first time in the 2024 DBL season. Steckline to Krzyzova to Barine, and it is 1-0 Capital here halfway through the first half.
Izzy Daniel doing her best Nate Schmidt impersonation, floating through the neutral zone.
Maddie Wethington with it now, gives it for Norcross up the left side. Mortgage looking for an answer here. Capital has our game's first goal. It's Abby Barine, and there's a potential answer off of the one-time look. It was Bazal that time. 4 goals last week, trying to get her 5th of the season. Buterak with a nice chance, save made by Vetter. And up and down the ice they go. Another chance back the other way. Audrey Wethington puts the moves on Brown, but unable to get the shot off.
Boy, what a pass by Izzy Daniel down on the other end. Just a perfect saucer.
Ava Lindsay centers this one. Pass is intercepted. Peyton Levis will get it up ahead. Now on the right side half wall, pulling up is Ella Berger. She's stripped by Lindsay. Ava Lindsay cuts her way through Maddie Wethington. Leaves a nice pass there for Brown. Now Panic. Panic puts a move on. Tries to go blocker side high on Vetter. It goes wide. Capital will pull it back out to center. Emily Brown with it at her own blue line. 2 passes later, it finds Lindsay. Backhand drop pass at the blue line for Panic. Now back down for Lindsay. That one's intercepted. Mortgage with possession now. Berger, as offsides is waved there. Maybe a little bit of a lenient call, but we're all about pace of play here at DBL.
I think she put enough effort into trying to stay onside, and it was rewarded.
I wonder what the margin of error we're working with here on these offsides calls. What do you say, 2 feet, 3 feet? What's the tipping point?
2.5.
Krzyzova up the right side. Back for Krzyzova. Drop pass Bookbinder. Nice save made there by Vetter. They've already beat her once. It's going to be hard to add on to that. Skylar Vetter makes the save. 9:20 to go here in the first half. 1-0 Capital lead.
Again, I would be interested to see shots on goal. We're not tracking them on the scoreboard, but we've got to be up to 15 each side now.
Bookbinder with it. Left side half wall. Leaves it behind. Breen out in front. Had some real estate to work with, but sent it wide. Krzyzova. Bookbinder up high. Steckline. Skates to her left. Pressure from Heisey. Tries to center it through. The deflection comes to Krzyzova. Now it's broken up. Mortgage working back the other way. Zumwinkle leaves it for Heisey.
There's your margin of error.
Delayed offsides as they'll ease up on it. Barine with it. Sea of maroon jerseys around her, but she makes her way to the red line and dumps it in. Maddie Wethington. To the far side, Heisey. Taylor Heisey with some space. Glove save made by Hensley. There's some body contact made there. Gilday knocks down Izzy Daniel. That's more physicality than we've seen all league long.
Well, and if I dig deep enough into my brain, I believe these two are teammates at Cornell.
Barine now Brown. Brown working it behind. To the left circle for Daniel. Dropped for Panic. 7:35 to play here in the first half. 1-0 Capital over Mortgage. White over Maroon. Buterak sends it out front. Panic's tip shot goes high. She'll take it behind the cage. For Brown at the right side. Between the dashes. Now sends it down low. Daniel fighting through some physical play from Maddie Wethington. Wethington, a stretch pass for Norcross. It's a one-on-one. She's in with Panic. Now here's Audrey Wethington as a trailer, and Norcross's shot goes wide.
Boy, she can fly, can't she? When Norcross gets a little space, she is gone.
Audrey Wethington with it now. To the far side, Bazal. Now a backhand drop pass off the end board there. Lindsay will take it. Pitch and catch with Buterak. She's in with Steckline. Steckline from between the dashes. That one flutters up. And it's an easy one for Skylar Vetter to cover, coming up on 6.5 to play.
It's a nice catch by Skylar Vetter. Looks a little bit like Jason Veritek in the early 2000s catching a Tim Wakefield knuckleball.
Really tapping into your limited MLB knowledge, Peter.
My MLB knowledge is limited to 2004.
Did you play MVP Baseball 2005?
No.
The one with,
No,
just
just 04.
Had Manny Ramirez on the cover. Great game.
I was always more of an 04 guy with Albert Pujols on the cover.
Mobley cutting down the right-hand side. Ava Lindsay with it now. Has some space on her backhand. Leaves it out front for Mobley. That shot doesn't get through. And now Mortgage will work back the other way. Berger trying to get it out. Too far for Levis. Steckline will be the first one there for Capital. Steckline in the near side corner. 5.5 to play in our third game of the evening. Our first two. Element took down Walser. Check that, took down Tria 16-8. And a good one there. Element moves to 2-0. And then we had a shootout thriller with Walser taking down Anderson 11-10. So far in this one, much lower scoring, but a good quality hockey game here. And the lone goal is from Abby Barine.
Yeah, we got a little animosity between Maddie Wethington and Olivia Mobley. Wethington kind of following Mobley around. Mobley eventually gives her a shove before getting off the ice.
Krzyzova for Barine tries to go up high on Vetter and misses high. Zumwinkle Heavy back check from Breen. She'll work it to the right side. Puck sits loose at the right post, swept up and taken out of the zone by Capital. Krzyzova across the line. Has Breen with her. Back check there from Zumwinkle, who picks up a geometric pass down the right side. Waiting for Heisey. Drops it for her at the right circle. All the way up high. Now between the dashes, right circle. Heisey's shot is blocked out in front by Kelly Panic.
The wily veteran Kelly Panic blocking shots on a Wednesday night in July.
Long stretch pass, scooped up by Audrey Wethington. Leaves for Heisey. Heisey's pass to the far post, and that one goes wide. Flaherty with the chance that time.
Do you feel the buzz in the arena every time Taylor Heisey touches the puck? I mean, that is star power.
Krzyzova over the line, drops it for Steckline. That one goes up into the netting, gives a couple of our fans standing above the scoreboard a nice jump scare. 3:20 to go.
Jump scare.
And there is no denying that Taylor Heisey has that kind of star power that you look for in really any athlete. You mentioned earlier one of the most marketable players in not just women's hockey, really any women's professional sport, as she has grown to be the star of one of the fastest growing sports in the nation.
Well, and I want to add a little bit of context. I said that she would be on PWHL's Mount Rushmore, and I don't mean to take away from a player like Lee Steckline, whose resume is certainly a lot longer than Taylor Heisey's, but the younger kids, they need a superstar to latch onto, and Taylor Heisey, by way of her superstar skill, great personality, and timing, she is that superstar.
Audrey Wethington centers this one, taken there by Lindsay. Now a one-time look for Norcross, but Hensley's able to slide over and knock that one down. Coming up on the 2-minute mark here in the first half of game number 3 from Braemar Arena, home of the Hornets here in Edina, Minnesota. Peter, I'm going to ask you something. I'm going to ask you to pinpoint the best game you've ever seen in Braemar Arena. One game.
Oh, no.
Curious where you go to for this one. We'll give you some time to think.
Yeah,
as
give me
Izzy
some
Daniel
time to think.
banks this one up ahead. It's going to be too far for Lindsay, but icing waved off here. 1:35 to go in the first. Kelly Panic across the crease. Had Brown on the back door that time. Icing waved again off the deflection. 1:20 to go here in the first. I have my answer.
Well, I'm going to let you
to hear
go ahead.
yours.
It feels like I spent half my life at Braemar Arena during the hockey season. Too many games to choose
Here's
from.
Levis with a chance down the left side, backhand out front, and Hensley will cover that one up. I am going to go with the regular season finale of this past season, the 23-24 high school season, Edina versus Wayzata for the #1 seed in Section 6 and the Lake Conference title. No, that was actually Minnetonka, so it was everything but the Lake Conference title on the line. Overtime winner for Wayzata on a picture-perfect drop pass one-timer from right between those circles where Capital's going to work in the offensive zone.
Do you remember who scored the goal?
It wasn't a super, I want to say it was like a third-line guy, not one of the Wayzata superstars.
A third liner from Wayzata.
It was a heck of a game, though. Maybe during the break we'll hop on the Old Lemon Hockey Hub and do a little historical research. 8 seconds to go here as Kelly Panic works down the left side. Going to be tough to get a shot off. Now it's turned over. Heisey with 1 to go. Runs out of time, and we head to break. So a tight, physical first half of game. It is a 1-0 lead for Tradition Capital. Abby Breen, the lone goal scorer. Peter, your takeaways from these first 23 minutes?
Pretty much the same as last week. Really tight. It's going to come down to the wire, and I believe double puck will play another big role.
That it will. Both sides still with double puck flexibility here as neither side has used it. We have Taylor Heisey standing by at ice level with Anna Baining. It's Anna Baining down low with
Taylor Heisey from Team Maroon. And Taylor, I asked Vinny Letary this last game, and it's National Hot Dog Day. So how many hot dogs do you think that you could eat in a national hot dog eating contest?
This is a great question.
And you have like 10 minutes, let's say.
I would say like 12 to 15.
Oh, he only said 4 to 5. I only gave him 5 minutes though.
I have an iron stomach, but yeah, 5 minutes is different. I would have a different answer for 5 minutes.
And is a hot dog a sandwich?
No.
Okay, perfect. That's all the time we have.
Awesome. Thank you.
Back up to you guys in the booth.
Thank you, Anna. Good to hear from one of the faces of women's hockey here, not only in the state of Minnesota, but the entire country, in Taylor Heisey. And now is as good of a time as any to remind you that Tradition is a family of Minnesota-based companies working for good in our communities while connecting the dots for all of your land development, financial services, and home building needs. Learn more at traditionco.com. Now, looking at that Wayzata Edina game, we have an answer for you. It was Max Ludke,
Of course.
in overtime for Wayzata, but a great back and forth game here from Braemar. Already looking forward to the start of next high school season. But why look ahead when we have such a great game in front of us between Tradition Mortgage and Tradition Capital Bank? Second half getting ready to tip off. The puck is dropped, and here we go. 23 more minutes of hockey for the week until we do it all again next Wednesday.
To give you an answer, the 2023 Section 6 AA finals between Chanhassen and Minnetonka. 23, not 24.
Gotcha. Tonka finals in 23. What was the final of that one?
Don't remember. I just remember that the 2023-23 season, there was so much scuttlebutt about how it was right after everybody had transferred to Minnetonka, and there was a lot of discourse about how Minnesota hockey was dying. High school hockey was dying. And I went to that game, and you couldn't find a place to sit down. Both student sections were huge. They were vocal. There were celebrations. There were emotions. There were tears. There was blood. It had everything you could ever want. And I thought it was a fitting, not a middle finger, but a fitting thumbing of the nose at the doomers within Minnesota high school hockey.
Daniel along the right half wall, penned in there by Maddie Wethington. Look at that physicality down low. Norcross going at it with Barine.
I don't know who I would take if those two dropped the gloves. Probably Barine.
Maddie Wethington cuts into the slot. Kick save made. Rebound chance out front, and it's cleared away. After Skylar Vetter pitched a shutout last week, Nicole Hensley is working on one of her own here in the second half.
Boy, how crazy would that be if we saw the first two shutouts back-to-back weeks into Beauty League history?
Ava Lindsay gets it ahead for Barine. Now drops for Brown. Brown crashing inside. Vetter makes the save. Caught it somewhere up in her shoulder. Now transfers it to the glove. And we'll pause.
Can you hand me my soapbox for a moment?
Consider it handed.
Alrighty, I'm going to climb on top of it. I would love to see these women's games played between the men's games in that middle slot to encourage more people to stick around for the women's game. And you know what? If you showed up for both men's games and then you took off, shame on you. You paid for the ticket, stay for all three. You're missing out on some fantastic hockey.
Heisey up the left wing.
You can have my soapbox back. Thank you.
Berger for Gilday. To the backhand, right side, cuts to the net. And stuffed at the goal mouth by Hensley. Now back to the left side. Held there by Maddie Wethington. Has Gilday out front and feeds it through to her. Heisey waits up high. Berger, left corner. Heisey from between the dashes, shot low and Hensley makes the pad save. Lindsay with it now. Into the zone with Buterak, tries to put a move on, falls to her knees. Unable to get the clear is Wethington. Buterak feeds it through. Lindsay can't corral the rebound. Panic for Steckline. Shot. I think that one got up off the mask of Skylar Vetter. We saw that earlier in the men's game. This time it doesn't quite dislodge the mask of Vetter, but she makes the save regardless.
Thank goodness. The last thing we want to see is a bare face on a goaltender.
Lindsay's shot is sticked away by Vetter again. Getting too cute with it that time is Panic. It's intercepted. Down the left wing side, Ella Berger to the net. And a save made by Hensley. Mobley up the left wing side. Shot. Save made by Vetter once again. We've got a good old-fashioned goaltending duel here from Braemar, still 1-0.
I keep waiting for one of those lights on the bench to go on for the double puck. We'll see if somebody whips it out early.
See if we can't get what I am choosing to call a double puck eclipse like we had in the last game where both sides have it active at the same time. Really ups the stakes. Steckline down the left side now. Although now that I think about the strategy a bit more as Zumwinkle works back, Grace Zumwinkle on a breakaway. Save made again by Hensley. Panic will sweep it up to the right side. Now a stretch pass finds Brown. The double puck has been triggered. Brown gets tripped up that time by Vetter. And I saw the light very briefly for Mortgage. Now they will pull it. It's a 2-on-0. Zumwinkle and Levis. Across Levis. Misses wide.
Now we're starting to see the strategy.
Mortgage has triggered their double puck here. Minute 50 remaining on it. 17 and change to go. In the second half, we will have stop time here for the double puck. 17:33 to go. Minute 46 remaining of double puck time for Mortgage. Looking to pull ahead. A double puck goal would give them a 2-1 lead.
Did you see when they triggered it, though? They had a 2-on-0, and Taylor Heisey's hammering the coach on the shoulder, saying, flip it, flip it, flip it. So maybe that'll be the strategy going forward. Teams will wait for an excellent scoring chance and then hit the switch.
Audrey Wethington's shot is knocked down again by Hensley. The more I think about the strategy, and allow me to nerd out here for a minute.
You weren't nerding out before.
I think it's best to use it, say it's late in a close game, you want to use it with 5 to 6 minutes remaining, I think, because otherwise if you get into a situation like we had in the last game, tied game late, both sides use the double puck, it really loses any sort of strategic advantage. It's almost like you're just back to ground zero. You want to use it at a time when you know there will be a discernible strategic advantage for your team.
I didn't think that was nerdy at all. I thought that was wow.
There's a goal.
Wow.
It's Abby Barine again. Second of the night. It's not a double puck goal, but it does give Capital a 2-goal lead.
Holy cow, what a shot. Glove side. You know where else I've seen that shot before? Little sister Chloe Barine has the same type of release, the same laser-like accuracy.
Well, I don't know if you want to call that a short-handed goal. It's the DBL effective equivalent. Abby Barine with a goal, while Mortgage has the hot puck activated, I should say.
Apparated.
Words are hard, man. Words are hard. Ava Lindsay over the line. Drops it back in the return feed. Pad save is made by Vetter. I think I got stuck between operated and activated.
See, I don't think operated is in the correct tense either, though. You were the one who just dropped biogeographic diversity.
Buterak across. Steckline can't get it on goal. 15 seconds remaining on the Mortgage double puck. Heisey down the left side, puts a move on, out in front. Berger unable to finish. And that will just about do it for the Dick's House of Sport double puck as time has run out And now a big-time advantage for Capital as they can sit on their double puck time and use it late in the game when they're looking for a big insurance goal. Brown with it on the right side. Leaves it behind for Buckbinder. Look at Heisey playing that 200-foot game.
Pinned up against the glass for a moment there.
Mobley ahead for Brown. Emily Brown tries to put a move on. Broken up that time. Maddie Wethington will control for Maroon. 2-0 Capital over Mortgage. White over Maroon. Abby Breen with both goals here in this one, and Nicole Hensley still working on what would be the second ever shutout in the history of DBL.
We got a long way to go here. 14:45 to go in the second half. Anything can happen.
That one's knocked down. Flaherty springs Zumwinkle. Zumwinkle in with Levis. Opts to keep it. Sends a shot on. Rebound chance. Levis. Hensley makes two more big saves. 14.5 to play.
A short break in the action. Be a good time to wish a happy birthday to the child down on the glass who's holding a sign that says it's my 9th birthday. So happy birthday. We're glad that you're here.
Like we said earlier, it's all about the kids here, Peter, at DBL.
All about the kids.
Gilday off the face-off. Rifles that one up into the netting. So we'll be right back where we started.
A few more seconds tick off the clock, though.
I spot a jersey that, not even really for like a rarity value as this one is offside, but just overall style. The Matt Boldy reverse retro for the Minnesota Wild over to our left in the concourse. Just a great, great jersey of a great hockey player.
Yeah, he's okay.
And I spot another reverse retro over behind the Capital bench, and I see a number 2 on the sleeve. Something tells me that might also be a Matt Boldy. We will work to confirm, get some boots on the ground over there, as this one is played behind for Audrey Wethington.
I'd venture to guess that Boldy and Kaprizov are the 2 best-selling Wild jerseys.
Yeah, you could maybe make a case for Faber now. I would put Faber at a 3rd, but I could see him rising up to take a top 2 position within the year.
Well, if my eyes don't deceive me, I see an original Wild jersey in front of us, a Manny Fernandez Wild jersey. I loved Manny Fernandez as a kid.
Manny Fernandez, what a pull.
The duo, Manny Fernandez and Dwayne Rollison, the Wild were the original pioneers of the 2-goalie system. Duh.
Berger, far side corner. Flaherty loses control, under 12.5 to play. Here's Ava Lindsay on a breakaway the other way. Lindsay cutting inside, backhand save made by Skylar Vetter.
How close is she going to get each week to scoring, but never getting that cigar?
Heisey down low, can't get the backhand shot away. Lindsay for Buterak. As the sevens come together, some pressure that time from Flaherty. 3-on-1 for Lindsay. Brown, shot, glove save made by Vetter. Emily Brown is denied entry as Skylar Vetter snags that one with the left hand. 11:45 to play here from Braemar. 2-0 Capital. Zumwinkle with it. Pulls up in neutral ice and drops it off for Heisey. Taylor Heisey knifes her way through the defense. Cutting down the right side. One-time look out front. Rebound chance for Zumwinkle. Off the Madison Bazal shot. Now to the right circle. Gilday out front. Heisey centering for Zumwinkle. It's broken up.
Gosh dang it.
Boy, Heisey just pulling every string in the O-zone, but unable to yield any results. Buterak out front. And now a touch pass up ahead for Heisey, who's got all kinds of space in front of her. Tries to thread it through for Zumwinkle. Good back check that time from Lee Steckline. Now here's Gilday out front for Maddie Wethington. And Steckline will hold it behind.
Wethington jumping up in the play as a defender. She certainly has the skills to do some damage below the dots, just not used to seeing her down there.
Stretch pass for Ava Lindsay. It goes too far. We will get a face-off to the glove side of Nicole Hensley, who her numbers coming into this not indicative of how well she played in game one, coming in with that 0-1 record, a 9.00 goals against, a 775 save percentage, but certainly salvaging some of those season stats with her shutout in progress tonight.
Well, we were having a conversation before this game started, and I mentioned to somebody that the score last week was 2-1. I was quickly corrected, but it's so hard to forget that there were 9 goals scored last week, considering how close the game was for so long.
Krzyzova cuts into the slot. Her shot is knocked down before it can get on goal. It's Mortgage turning defense into offense. Flaherty's centering pass is broken up. Mobley will take it near her own bench. Now it's shoveled up ahead. Drop pass Mobley. Shot, save, rebound chance out front for Krzyzova. Check that, it's Panic, and she can't get a shot off. Now here's Maroon. Flaherty with Norcross. Flaherty shot, athletic save made by Hensley, who kind of got stuck in between staying up and going down. Kind of just hit a squat right there, but is able to knock it down, made herself big within the frame of the net. 9 minutes to go here in the second half.
Well, Lee Steckline was chatting with one of the officials. Now one of the officials is chatting with Jim Carroll in the penalty box. I'm very confused what's going on here.
Perhaps we will find out what they were cooking. Gilday with a point-blank chance and a left pad save made by Hensley.
See, I thought that if a team was on the hot puck and the opposing team scored, I thought the opposing team that scored would get 2 goals.
My understanding of the rule is that it only applies for the team that has triggered the hot puck themselves. I do not believe it goes both ways.
Okay, I'll have to check the community air table,
Audrey Wethington.
where all of our documents are.
Gilday up the left side to the near side. And Beauty League is certainly an intriguing broadcasting challenge, trying to compile all the information with everything that we are given, which a lot of times isn't much up until about Tuesday, the day before the game, but we do our best to really send the house every Tuesday and get ready for some good hockey. Krzyzova cross, as that one intended for Emily Brown goes too far.
Oh, Will, when you're working professional games, as I'm sure you will be within a few years, you'll look back on this time and you'll be thankful to flex your research muscles.
Steckline backhand pass as a blocker save is made by Vetter out front. Under 7.5 to play here. Again, Mortgage has already used their Dick's House of Sport double puck, so they're going to have to get 2 the old-fashioned way and put 2 pucks behind Nicole Hensley in this last 7 minutes and change. Seems like a tall task, but if anyone can do it, it's Taylor Heisey and company. Bizal tries to get it around Panic. Capital still has use of their double puck as well. Chance to add some insurance here late in this one. Zumwinkle, a backhand shot, goes wide. Heisey regains control in the right corner. Capital with possession in the middle third. Breen up ahead for Panic. Left circle, bearing inside, backhand shot, save made. Vetter crashing the net. There's Breen looking for a hat trick. She is denied. And we'll get a face-off to the blocker side of Skylar Vetter.
Well, if you had to choose right now your player of the game, is it Breen or is it Hensley?
I think they will give co-players of the game. That is my lean. I think if Capital had their scoring divided between 2 players, I could see the case made for Sol Hensley, but hard to ignore when one player is 100% of your team's offense, as Abby Breen has been in this one. Gilday right circle, cutting inside, that shot deflected wide. I think it might have hit a stick out front. This one is deflected. Buterak up the right side, has Ava Lindsay with her. Buterak, right circle, pad save is made by Vetter. Rebound sits out between the dashes. Now Levis is sprung back the other way. It's a one-on-one as she works it to the right half wall. Leaves for Norcross. Good physical play there. Norcross got a slash off.
It was right after
the
Brown
breezers of
bumped her
Emily
into
Brown.
the boards.
Centering look for Levis is broken up by Ava Lindsay. As the time is ticking for Mortgage to start climbing the mountain. Here's a chance out front. It sits loose. No goal. Wow.
Ava, how close? Again, every third shift, Ava Lindsay comes within half an inch of scoring a goal.
Unbelievable. Ava Lindsay, that puck just sat on the goal line, and able to get back across to that one was Vetter. Audrey Wethington, we're going to get a penalty.
I think it's going to go against public enemy number 1 for Maroon. Emily Brown, she went shoulder to shoulder with Norcross into the boards in her defensive zone, and then she went hip to hip into the boards with Levis in the Maroon zone.
Penalty shot here for Audrey Wethington, the first one of this season. Save is made by Hensley. And she corrals the rebound. Boy, Audrey Wethington was tripped up on that one to lead to the penalty shot and unable. Think she tried the glove side of Hensley that time, but she is stonewalled, and Nicole Hensley less than 4 minutes away from picking up the shutout. Steck line for Mobley, left circle. Panic. Left half wall. Trying to cut it into the slot. Could be a big insurance goal. Rebound chance for Mobley. Now it's taken up the left side by Audrey Wethington. The double puck lamp has been lit for Capital. The Dix House of Sport double puck. As now any insurance goals that Capital would be able to add will count for 2 and pretty much end this game.
I think
Hensley plays it.
I think Kelly Panic was hoping that they would save the double puck for the last 2 minutes of regulation. She looked a little confused that the light had gone on.
Zumwinkle, full head of steam into the zone, has a half step out front, and that one goes up off the mask of Hensley. Now back the other way. Daniel is unable to catch up to that one, so Vetter will hold on. The clock will stop here with the double puck activated. 2:38 to go here in the second half. 2:38 to go of week 2 of Deputy League, and a minute 23 remaining on the hot puck for Capital.
You could cut the tension with a butter knife right now.
Taylor Heisey, if there was ever a time to get in her bag of tricks, it would be now. 2.5 to go here in this one, our final of 3 games here, week 2 of Deputy League. It has been a fun journey. We got 2 good ones earlier. Element advanced to 2-0 with a 16-8 drubbing of Tria as Krasova gets a shot inside. It's covered up by Vetter. 2:09 to go now in the second half. And then in our last one, a thriller, Walser with a comeback 11-10 overtime win over Anderson. As Walser and Element are 2-0, Anderson and Tria are 0-2. And next week, we will get Anderson versus Tria in the de facto toilet bowl between both 0-2 teams. We will also get Element and Walser in the 2 undefeated teams, as there's not been much parity on the men's side. 2 2-0 teams and 2 teams still searching for their first win. Here's Steckline out front. Nice save made by Vetter. Rebound is smothered as well.
See, I don't understand the toilet bowl analogy for the last place teams. Do people realize just how important indoor plumbing is to our progression as a species? It's basically the only thing that separates us from animals.
Fair point made there. Minute 38 to go here in the second half. 20 seconds remaining on the double puck for Capital. Have to think we're going to see Skylar Vetter make her way out of the goal for a potential 5-on-4 situation for Mortgage. 5 seconds now on the double puck. Capital more than happy to play the possession game here late. Double puck time now is up. Both teams unsuccessful lighting the lamp. We will get icing here. The clock will stop with 1 minute and 8 seconds remaining.
Do we see a timeout here? Someone gonna call
I
a timeout?
don't know if the teams are allotted timeouts.
What?
That was a inconclusive point in the rule book. I don't believe they are. Perhaps maybe when we enter playoffs, we'll get a little more strategy involved. Last minute of play here in the second half. Here's Audrey Wethington with Berger. Wethington's shot is stopped by Hensley.
Impenetrable.
53.4 to go. Skylar Vetter remains in goal. And no sign yet of her leaving, as Mortgage will continue to play 4-on-4. Audrey Wethington wins the drawback for Bazal. She sends it down low for Ella Berger. 45 seconds to go now in the second. Berger up high. Now to the left circle finds Bazal. Between the dashes, Wethington out front. Point blank chance for Levis, and she is stonewalled again by Hensley. Berger from a sharp angle. Another save made by Hensley. Now taken the other way, Abby Barine for the hat trick. Can't get it to go as Vetter keeps it in play.
Go, go, go. You're going too slow.
Would have really solidified her player of the game case, which we think is already sewn up. Oh no, losing an edge on the far side is Natalie Bookbinder, and she takes a hard fall into the Braemar end board. A terribly, terribly awkward collision as Natalie Bookbinder lost her footing, sliding into the end board there. EMT's now down with her on the ice. Not what you want to see in a summer league game with 4 seconds remaining. Something you never want to see under any circumstances, but especially not here, as that will do it for us from Edina. Capital takes down Mortgage 2-0, but that all has now become very secondary to the health and well-being of Natalie Bookbinder. As they continue to tend to her down on the ice, the teams will go through the handshake line. And a tough scene here late from Braemar. Still down on the ice is Natalie Bookbinder, 3-time national champion with the Wisconsin Badgers, 7th round draft pick in the inaugural PWHL draft, and Walter Cup champion this past season with PWHL Minnesota. Kelly Panic and Maggie Flaherty both tending to her down on the ice as well. And a solemn, scary, upsetting ending to what was a extremely, extremely fun night of hockey here from Edina in Week 2 of the Beauty League. Peter, your final thoughts.
Well, once again, for the second straight week, very, very impressed with the level of play, both men's and women's. Once again, I would hope that more people would stick around for the women's game, but that's not up to me. That's up to the powers that be, and I greatly look forward to being back next week.
Crowd in a little bit of a stunned silence here. There was some brief clapping as the players left the ice, and now Bookbinder gets to her feet, being assisted by our medical staff. A good round of applause from all the faithful still here at Braemar Arena. You hope it is nothing too serious, but in all honesty, did not look good in real time. Can't imagine it looks great on replay as she hobbles to the locker room. Again, your final here is 2-0 Capital over Mortgage. Abby Barine with 2 goals for Capital. Nicole Hensley with the shutout in goal as well. Back-to-back weeks with a shutout here in the women's version of DBL. And the season series is evened up at 1 game apiece between Mortgage and Capital. Well, that's going to do it here from Edina for the entire YHH production team, cast and crew, for our Ice Side reporter Anna Baining and my analyst Peter Odney. My name is Will Peterson, wishing you a very pleasant good evening here from Edina.